make sure I hit go live here. Boom. All right. And now, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Tap the screen, share the live, knock out the daily gift goal if you don't mind. It's the little love you very much. Send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Timothy Trump, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not looking to speak to friendlies. We are only looking for some debates. Only looking for some debates. With that being said, let's go ahead and crank it up.
You stepped in the box. Now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here. You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts like lies get left in chain. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats and get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit. Yeah, step in if you dare. Truth hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script.
Sam, I just muted you. Get in the box. No one gives a shit what you're saying from the comments.
No shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. I don't care what you claim or your background.
Not
Facts
at all.
Only if not, get clapped down.
What?
Whether you're left or right,
or you don't even vote. What up, Doug?
Your logic is weak, I'll sink your boat.
Yeah.
You talk slick, but you ain't got source. Just vibes, that ain't power, that's force. I'm the test, the trap, the trip, the call.
Hey.
You slip once, I'm snatching it all.
Boom.
Step
hey, Gail, what up, Brandy?
Hit hard like a punch in the air.
Ain't no
rules, no plan, no script.
One wrong move, get cooked real quick. Hey, Maddie.
No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff
or you get revealed. Hey, Crystal.
Step in, don't you wanna?
Sparring with Santana.
Step in, yeah, you can hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules,
hey,
no
Kim.
plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in.
What up, Joey?
You wanna
Sparring with Santana. Hey.
This ain't your safe place.
No.
This is flame space.
Absolutely.
And don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana.
Yeah. Hey, Tiffany over on YouTube. Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Timothy Trump, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. Only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, do all the wonderful things, right? Tap the screen, share the live. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. If we can knock them out a couple of times, it'll help push us out to the FYP and get more people in for debates. MAGA, Trump supporters, request up. It's simple question, or better yet, I would like for you to prove me wrong because I think the answer is no, but you know what? I'm not going to speak for you. I just want to know, is it justified? You all supporting and voting for Trump, you actually sending our country into chaos. Is it worth it? Was it worth it? The fact that we're dealing with war and or war crimes, starving Americans, Donald Trump is pardoning dealers. We got racist maps all over the place, and we're still dealing with grumpy old Trump. Guys, if you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. We're going to go ahead and get it started. I'm going to get this guy in because he really wanted to debate last night, and he did not get a chance because I wasn't letting white men on the panel. We're going to be, he's not here. Oh, well, too bad. I was going to give him this opportunity, but he's not here. We're going to be doing the other debates later. We're not talking to white men that are Trump supporters. But for right now, we're going to get him in. Wyatt, are you there?
Yeah, I voted for Kamala, but I'm a little fucked up in the head.
Okay, yeah. I know, because you can't even say Kamala right. It's okay. Words are hard, Snowflake. It's okay. All right, let's try it again, guys. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter, we are only looking for some debates. So they're all running away. What the fuck is going on? They are all running away. You know what it is? You know what it really is? Trump supporters have the attention span of a goldfish. And if you don't immediately let them up and immediately let them start speaking, they leave. They can't wait 2 minutes. It's the wildest fucking thing. Whatever. Anyway, if you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. I think I've talked to this person before, but hold on. That's a lie. Mike, that's a lie. Donald Trump absolutely did not. You know what? I'm going to mute you, bud. Get up here and tell me about it. I sent you a request.
Hello?
Johnny, how are you? Also, other Johnny, I'm muting you because that's a fucking lie. You get up here and tell me about it. You are a Trump supporter, right?
Yes.
Okay. I can't remember if you're a walking crash out or like we had an actual conversation. Which one was it?
Oh, we had a conversation.
Okay. And you didn't crash out, right?
I didn't crash out.
But are you the one who was saying, hold on?
Bro, you're still on that?
Okay. I'm just making sure. All right. The other Johnny, you said no one's starving. Is that accurate?
That's 100% accurate. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to call you J3. Is that okay? Because it says you're Johnny H38.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call you J3. All right. Other Johnny, you stay on hold, on mute. J3. I'm going to talk to you. First and foremost, do you know who I am?
I think you and I have talked before. Yeah, I think so.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's been a while, but I think I've been up here before.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, would you mind if I give you and more so everyone else a proper introduction to who I am and what this is?
Sure.
Perfect. Give me one moment here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. If you are not a Trump supporter, please do not request up. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only looking for some debates. And I'm looking for some debates because I really want to know if it's worth it. And now we got J3 up here, and J3 said that people aren't starving. Americans aren't starving. J3, I'll give you the floor first. Why are you saying that? Why do you say no one's starved?
Yeah, sure. You can't prove to me one instance where an American citizen is starved. In fact, we have the opposite problem in this country. We're all fat. Everyone in this country, we have a major obesity problem. Nobody is starving. That's a narrative that the left likes to push to pull on your emotional heartstrings, right? You've been led to believe that you're a victim your whole life because you've supported the left, and that's what they're good at. They're good at creating victims. They're good at making people believe that things are way worse than they actually are. Nobody's starving. Nobody's dying of starvation. I mean, sure, there's probably some food insecurities. However, that doesn't equal people starving.
Okay. All right. Listen, you said a lot there, friend. And while I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong, I am going to say that I think there's a lot of information that you're missing. So the reason why I say there's starving Americans is, one, we understand what happened with the actual SNAP benefits, right? And the government shutdown. The bigger thing is, I'm not sure if you heard this, right? But is it the Secretary of Agriculture or the Agriculture Secretary, however you say the title, from the Agriculture Department, the head of the Agriculture Department, the actual, thank you for the cake, the department that oversees SNAP benefits, they are planning on withholding SNAP benefits from quote unquote blue states, right? They've been open and adamant and talking about withholding SNAP benefits from Americans because blue states won't give them information on undocumented immigrants. They're literally saying, if you won't give us data, if you won't give us state level data, then we will withhold food benefits from your constituents. How do you feel about that one?
It's kind of an interesting tactic that the federal government would use. However, if the states want their people to be fed and have their SNAP benefits, then they'll comply with the federal government's wishes. Simple as that.
So you're perfectly fine with politicians playing politics and even more so harming everyday Americans because they can't actually work with the state level governments to get what they need.
No, I think it's absolutely awful that American citizens are the victims between a fight between a state and the federal government. I think that's should never happen.
Right. However, I agree. You and I agree.
However, if the state didn't want those things to happen, comply with the federal government's wishes. Simple as that.
Wait, so, okay, cool. Question for you. How do you feel about states' rights?
I'm a big supporter of states' rights.
Listen, this is the sticky situation now, though, because if you're a big supporter of states' rights, then you can't be in support of the federal government forcing the states to do something, right?
No, absolutely, I can. When it comes to national security, and these are national security issues that we're trying to inspect and trying to uncover, then yeah, I fully support the federal government's insight into the state's dealings. Absolutely.
Maybe I'm missing something. And listen, I'm open to learning things and being educated because I don't know everything. But can you tell me, hey Peach, can you tell me how these undocumented immigrants being in the country is a national security risk?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't tell you a number, but we know after 4 years of Biden and the lack of security on our southern border and northern border, for that matter, we know that we have people here that are unvetted. That in itself is a national security conflict, right? We need to know who's here, and we don't know. So what the federal government might be trying to do right now is go into the states and say, hey, we want to look into some of these people that have come into this country illegally, whether that be arresting them, whether that be interrogating them, whatever the cause may be. We need to figure out what's going on here. And the states should work with the federal government in that aspect.
Yeah. So like you just said a couple of different things. And I guess the thing that I want to get to the heart of is when you talk about like the working with undocumented immigrants being here and being a national security risk, and the fact that the borders are unsecure, blah, 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 blah. Two things. One, if it was such an issue, then why, instead of like having this scattershot initiative that we see like ICE rampaging through, the country in such a disorderly fashion, why wouldn't the Republican Party be actually trying to pass bipartisan legislation to address both borders? And then also two, why wouldn't you advocate for mass amnesty, which would actually be more beneficial than trying to get through mass deportation? No, Johnny, don't hold on. Johnny, don't hold on. Not yet. Johnny, don't hold up yet. I'm still talking to J3. I'll get you in right after this, but that question's for J3.
Yeah. So basically, and I think you and I probably agree. I think the ICE stuff has probably been a little heavy-handed. However, none of these things would have happened had the previous administration controlled the border. So that's where we need to place our blame. We need to look at the past administration and say, well, there was a problem, right? We have a serious problem. Lottie-dottie, everybody came into the borders, and it's, in my view, it's an invasion. And we need to know who's here. We need to know who's here. We need to know who shouldn't be here. And if you want to talk about the amnesty laws, it's pretty well proven that a lot of the people that come to this country are taking advantage of those amnesty laws. And when you just say the amnesty court rulings and procedures that they have to go through to get to prove that they're a legal asylum.
Asylum isn't amnesty. Do you know what amnesty is?
Sure. What did I misspeak? Did I say?
Yeah, asylum is different than amnesty. I'm talking about mass asylum. Like the last time it was done was Ronald Reagan, where
Yep.
they allow undocumented immigrants to become American citizens. It's a process where instead of saying get everybody out, they naturalize them and allow them to become American citizens.
Okay, yeah. And my argument would be that if the problem hadn't been so bad under the previous administration, maybe we could look into something like that. Maybe we could. There could be a realistic way to vet these people and give them amnesty, or give them let them make their asylum claims.
Okay.
Maybe that's true. However, we saw that the problem was unvetted for 4 years under Biden, and this is what you get.
Okay. One quick follow-up question, and then we're going to go to Johnny. But one quick follow-up question for you, J3. So let's say, I'll grant you the premise. Let's say there was a issue with immigration under the Biden administration. So you and I can say yes on that, right?
Okay.
All right, cool.
Sure.
But you and I can also agree that under Barack Obama, that there was not, right? Because Barack Obama was known as the quote unquote deporter in chief, and he actually even had a negative immigration rate, meaning he deported more people than immigrants that came into the country. So we can agree that there wasn't that problem under Obama, right?
Under Obama, yeah, I don't think the problem was nearly as bad as what it was under Biden. Yeah.
Okay, so if the problem wasn't occurring under Barack Obama, but the problem was there under Joseph Robinette Biden, what was the connective tissue that happened between Obama and Biden that caused there to be a problem with immigration? What happened? Was there something that happened in between the Obama administration and the Biden administration? I'm trying to remember if anything happened between the Obama administration and the Biden administration, because both Barack Obama and Joseph Robinette Biden actually used the same type of deportation process, and both of them had a high deportation rate, right? So was there something that happened that may have affected that between them?
If you want to, I mean, whatever the blame may be, we can move the goalpost and place blame in other places. The fact is, the facts are the facts, right?
Yeah,
during the first Trump administration, during the first Trump administration, and during the Bob administration, the border was somewhat under control, right? Would you agree to that?
No, not under the Trump administration.
No? You don't think so?
No. You know why I say that? And see, this is the thing that you guys don't speak on, right? You don't remember this, but I remember, right? Tuckett Farms remembers under Donald Trump, his first administration, right? He was desperate for Congress to approve money for his border wall because immigration had skyrocketed. Undocumented immigrants coming into the country skyrocketed under him. He was so desperate that Congress wouldn't do it, that he took money from the Army Corps of Engineers to try to build the wall. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, Donald Trump would have had a massive, way more as far as undocumented immigrants coming into the country. And if he was not able to utilize Title 42, immigration coming into the country would have been way more extreme, right? And it was created, though, by Trump. That's the thing. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. J3, do you remember what Donald Trump was saying when he was running to get elected in his first term?
Do I remember what he was saying? Yeah, he wanted to build the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, but why was he saying that he wanted to build the wall?
Because there was a rise in immigration into the country, illegal immigration.
What did he say was coming from the southern border?
I don't remember what his words were.
Caravans. He said they're all coming. He went, Donald Trump, part of his stump speeches, as part of him running for office, part of him actually trying to win the election, Donald Trump said the borders are wide open for the United States. Donald Trump told everyone that our country borders are open and people are coming into the country. He yelled that from the mountaintops, even though you and I just agreed that under Barack Obama, border crossings and undocumented immigrants was under control because he was the quote unquote deporter in chief.
No, that's not what we agreed on.
We did agree that. We agreed.
We said it was less of a problem than when Biden was in office. There was still a problem during Obama's term, his second term especially. If you look at the statistics, you'll see that there's if you look at the statistics of Trump's first administration versus Barack Obama's second administration, it's very clear to see there was less illegal contact.
How is there a problem if Barack Obama left office with a negative?
Because he deported more people than
so. Wouldn't that be addressing the problem?
Deporting is different. Deporting is different from the ones coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're coming in, but they're scattered around America. They're going this place, and yeah, maybe you wind them up, you deport them. But the security is not up to fucking par.
Hey, Johnny, don't start effing. Like, it's too early in the morning for you to be dropping F-bombs. Stop.
It's 1 o'clock.
It's 9:57 a.m.
Aren't you?
Oh, you're on the West Coast.
You're on the East California.
That's
I
why.
thought you were. Aren't you
That's
Dominican?
why I'm sitting here drinking my coffee.
Aren't you Dominican?
No, I'm not Dominican. I'm black. I know Dominican, Poppy. I'm black. Anyway, so you say, okay, Johnny, let me talk to you about this then.
All right.
Just make your statement again, because you threw me off for it.
Yeah, I said that you mentioned
hold on, not you,
agreed.
J3, because we let Johnny hop in. Go ahead, Johnny.
What do you want me to say to start my new point?
No, repeat what you were just saying, because I
all right, so all these people are coming in.
Yelling, dude. It's still early for me.
The security, the border security is not up to par.
Oh, but, okay. That's what you were saying. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you how long do you feel like the border security wasn't up to par, and do you feel like it's still not up to par yet?
I think it was the absolute worst under your buddy Biden and Kamala.
Kamala, you know how to say that. Don't play games,
bro.
Johnny.
Johnny, a lot of people say I say it wrong.
Bring it down.
So for banana, do you say banana?
Johnny, I just told you I'm still drinking coffee. Bring it down, bud. Keep going.
All right, it was bad under the Biden
and Harris.
Yeah. They're terrible.
Biden and Harris. Okay.
Yeah, we spent $50 billion on these migrants.
When do we spend $50 billion on migrants?
I know it was 10 billion. I was thinking about the food stamps. That's the thing I looked up. We spent $10 billion on these illegals coming in.
Undocumented.
Or asylum, you want to call them asylum seeker or whatever you want to call them.
Johnny, is there a difference between undocumented immigrants and asylum seeker? Yes or no?
But the thing is, the way
that was a yes or no, Johnny, question. Johnny, that was no. That was a yes or no question, Johnny.
The way you become asylum seeker is so.
Johnny, is there a difference between undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers? Yes or no?
Yes, there's a difference, but hold up. The way you become asylum seeker under Biden was much easier than it was previously. All you have to do is come here and say, I'm from Mexico, I'm very scared, where you want to go? And then they'll literally, whatever state you say, they send you a bus over there. That's what they did in New York City. That's what they did in California. Any place you want to go to, they literally sent you on a bus and sent you there. All you got to do is say you're scared.
Okay, that's not true. So
we have video footage.
Johnny, hold on. No, Johnny, I sat there and let you say what you have to say. You could not interrupt me. Stop it. That's not true. The asylum laws are not set by the United States of America. These are international laws that are set. And part of said international laws is understanding that there is a credible threat assessment that has to be completed. So people can't just come into the country and say, I'm scared. They have to get into the country. And then once they're in the country, they have to go through the threatable threat interview, and where it's deemed whether they are or are not in jeopardy of their life. And if they are set as far as having their life threatened, then they can actually be released.
Hold on, how are they getting into the country?
I'm not done, Johnny, let me finish and then you can go. If there's a credible threat on their life, then they can actually be released into the country and they will be assigned a court date. If they are not, then they're turned around and they have to go back. And the percentage is so low. I think it's like less than 30% of asylum seekers actually get granted access into the country for asylum. Now you can go.
So hold up. After they come to the country, who is going to deny them access now? They're already in the country.
Were you listening to what I said?
Hold on.
Johnny, were you listening to what I said, or were you trying to wait to say, hold up?
Yes, you said you're going to come into the country. They'll be able to come in. They'll get a court date, and then they'll see if they should be here or not, and a lot get deported.
No,
How
you
are they
missed
going to
something
get
I
deported
said.
if they scattered in the country?
You
can't
missed
find
something that I said, bud.
What'd you say?
Hey, hold on 1 second, Johnny. J3, were you listening to what I just said?
Briefly, yeah,
Okay.
I heard what you said.
Did you hear me talk about the credible threat interview?
Yes.
Okay,
Can you
hold
tell?
up.
Wait,
You can go
no,
to North
Johnny,
Korea?
no, Johnny, stop. J3, can you tell Johnny what I just said about the process for asylum and the credible threat interview?
You mentioned international laws and the process that they have to go through to get to seek. They have to abide by the international law, right? That was kind of what I understood.
But-
Okay, I'll repeat it one more time just so we.
But hold up,
on,
that's not
Johnny,
what they were
Johnny.
doing, though.
Yeah, Johnny, let me make sure I say it one more time. And I need both of you to lock in for me for a second. So what happens when someone is seeking asylum? They come into the country. Once they get into the country, they actually have to report that they are seeking asylum. And once they actually report that they are seeking asylum, then they have what's called a credible threat interview. And if it is deemed that they actually have a credible threat on their life, then they are released into the country and given a court date so they can come back. But if they complete the credible threat interview and they say that there's no threat on their life, then they're turned around and they don't get to come into the country. And with these credible threat interviews, less than 30% of asylum seekers are granted asylum.
But hold up. If they come into the country, they just don't even have to do the interview. They could just scatter and just hide, like a lot of them do.
Yeah, and then that's why I said, do you understand the difference
who's going to
between?
determine if they're scared or not?
Yeah, the actual people that do the interview are the Border Patrol.
So all they
but
gotta say
that's
is,
the
"I'm very
difference.
scared."
No,
I'm very
but
scared.
if Johnny, if all they had to do was say, "I'm very scared," do you think there would be more than 30% of people that get granted asylum?
How do you know it's 30%?
We have the numbers.
I'd love to
It's
see
less
that.
than 30%. The CPB reports the numbers on asylum seekers granted. Like that's actual government data. But no, stop. No, hold on. The actual point that I'm making is that if it was so easy as people just coming in and saying, "I'm scared," then the percentage of people allowed into the country would be higher than 30%. Hell, it would be pretty much 100% if all you had to do is say, "I'm scared."
What do you think that process looks like? Do you think
Exactly. Yeah.
do you think they just show up at the border and then go through an access point and they say, "Hey, I'm seeking asylum," and then that's it?
No, you don't even have to do that.
So-
You know what's my favorite part about asylum seeking? Because people have this misconception thinking that, oh, you have to go through a port of entry or blah, 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 blah. No, the actual asylum laws say the only thing that you have to do is get 2 feet on American soil. So whether you swim across and get into the country, whether you dig a tunnel and get into, hell, you can skydive into the country as long as you actually get into the country and you have 365 days to claim asylum. Is it 1 foot? I thought it was 2 feet. I mean, check.
If you're gonna reference international law, man, in asylum laws, it's not gonna be on your side, because there's many international laws and there's UN laws that say that these people have a obligation for the first safe country. There's many other things. Also, in the United States, we have our own laws, right? We don't have to necessarily abide by the international law when it comes to asylum seekers.
Sure. So what happens is asylum seeking, the precedence is set as far as international law, and then countries actually not only agree to international law, but then they actually create additional law beyond that if necessary, right? And so that's why you've seen things like Donald Trump trying to utilize remaining Mexico, while he can't actually change is 8 USC 1158. Right. He cannot actually change that. It says any alien who is physically present in the United States who arrives in the United States, irrespective of such alien status, may apply for asylum in accordance with this section where applicable, section 1225B of this title. So again, while the actual law is predetermined or agreed upon when it comes to international law, yes, other governments can set additional precedences in place, again, remain in Mexico. But we have all agreed to abide by international law. And this is not just like, asylum law, but like, the war crimes and, trade and all this other stuff. Like, we live in a society. And so that's why countries actually agree on international law that they will abide by. And then that's why there's punishment for countries like Russia when they break international law.
What punishment has there been?
Russia has received sanctions. Russia has been kicked out of the
violating international law.
Yes.
You said
Yes.
70% of them get
Hold on,
rejected.
Let me finish my point, and then you can.
Because I looked it up and you were wrong.
I said what?
You said 70% of them get rejected.
I said I think it's below 30% as far as the asylum.
It's actually 50%.
Okay, you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. with that.
Docketwise.com.
Hold on. You're way wrong on that one.
Okay, well, I looked it up, and I'd like an
You said
apology.
rocketwise.com?
No, Docket Rise.
Why didn't you go to CPB?
Well, I have my source, and my source is accurate.
I don't care about your source. CPB is the one that actually reports. You stop. Stop right there. Don't say anything. So this comes from the, you said docket. Oh, I see what you said. Docketwise.com. Why would you skip like all of the other resources that comes up, including the migrationpolicy.org, including factcheck.org, including the Department of Justice, including the Homeland Security? Like, why wouldn't it? I'm going to go to Homeland Security, right?
That's what ChatGPT gave me.
Listen, I thought I told you to stop trying to use that, bud. It's not a credible source. So I'm going to no, because it's fucking ChatGPT. It's not an actual source. You guys, AI is whooping you guys ass. So this is me going literally directly to the U.S. Department of Justice, and this is their national asylum rates. It says asylum decision rates by nationality, and it gives the breakdown for every country and like all the other specifics and all this other stuff. But and you can see what percentage, how many people came in, what's the total, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, if you look at the actual percentage of asylum seekers that's approved, it's at 31%. So I was wrong. I said less than 30%. It's actually at 31%.
I have 51%.
Because you use ChatGPT and it pulls some bullshit from DocketWise. And let's look at this. Let's look at what you're talking about. DocketWise. Did you just ChatGPT it, or did you even look at the article?
I ChatGPT'd it.
Okay, but you didn't look at the article.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It tells you. It gives you a summary of what's in the article.
Yeah, exactly, bud. I don't understand what you guys are doing. When you actually, even if you're going to do that, like I'm not an advocate for using ChatGPT or AI or anything like that to try to find information, right? Because you understand what confirmation bias is, right?
No.
Okay. Confirmation bias is where you actually say that you want something and you're looking for something specifically, and then it gives you what you're looking for based off of the way that you say it, right? Now, also, you need to understand what's credible sources, right? I have no fucking idea what DocketWise is. I do know what the Department of Justice is. That's actually federal reporting. I do know what the Immigration Council is. I know like these actual credible sources. I have no fucking clue what 8 a.m. DocketWise is, but I'm looking at this, right? And it says why legal representation changes the outcome. And when you said that it's 53%, you said 53%, right? That's what you said, Johnny. You said 53%, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you actually open up your own source, and I'm not even saying that this is a valid source because I don't know shit about this, but if you open up your own source, it's 50. I'm going to read this out, chat. Chat, it's story time with Santana. Why legal representation changes the outcome. Legal representation is the most significant factor of asylum success. Data from 2025 state immigration reports tell a compelling story. 83% of applicants in 2024 were represented by counsel. Of those, 53% were granted asylum under the 53% were granted asylum, and just 47% was denied. A small fraction received other forms of relief. Johnny, the source that you gave me, and you pull from ChatGPT, if you open it up and you take a look at it, that 53% it's saying that when 83% of applicants use counsel, meaning has a lawyer, 53% of that 83% is actually granted asylum. That's not saying that 53% of total asylum seekers is granted asylum. Do you understand? Johnny? I know you can hear me and you're not muted. You don't have to play silent. And then you're going to mute yourself when I said you weren't muted.
You said it was, hold up. You said it wasn't a reliable source.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it. I'm just telling you, you didn't even read your information.
All right.
Do you get why it's important to actually like check out your information?
No, I agree. It's good to fact check. I agree with that.
All right, so you go back on mute for a minute.
Hold up. That doesn't change the main point, though.
Yeah, there's no difference. I mean, you can argue semantics all day. The fact is, we have a lot of people here that shouldn't be here.
Wait, hold on. That's not arguing semantics. He said that 53% of asylum claims.
Hold up.
No, Johnny, you don't get to speak right now because you need to go do some reading. So you stop. I'm going to talk to J3. J3, the point that he was trying to make was that 53% of asylum seekers or asylum is granted for asylum seekers, which is not true. He didn't read the information. And again, the information said that 83% of asylum seekers use legal counsel. And of that 83%, 53% was granted asylum.
Sure.
So that's what we're not arguing semantics. We're not even arguing the point that you just made. We're arguing that Johnny doesn't read. Anyway, W's in the chat for Trissa, who sent a $2 donation, say they always want to use but Biden. I like to say, but what about Biden? But when you point out things that happened before Biden under Trump, you're moving the goalposts. Hypocrisy, always hypocrisy. Yeah, you know how we do. Thank you for the corgi. W's in the chat for, I think it's pronounced Fisham, who sent a $10 super chat to say, I love watching you, Dean, Jaden, Parker, spreading knowledge and cooking these MAGA cultists. Absolutely. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Michelle, got it right this time, who sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say, yes, the Ali auction free theory of immigration. If your hand touches the fire hydrant, then you get to stay. Yeah. Ali Ox. I don't know what Ali Ox is. I said Ali Ox. Yeah, Ali Ox. Do you mean, is this, you're talking about?
Exactly.
Hold on.
She's saying
you're talking about freeze tag. That's what you're talking about, right? Freeze tag. Michelle, Michelle's talking about freeze tag. Wait, did you guys call it something different when you guys were younger? We called it freeze tag. Holy smokes.
We call it smear the slur word.
Oh, fucking K. Yeah, well, we're not going to do that one. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Also, make sure you hit that follow button. If you look up at the top and you see the word follow, you're on the back of, I'm on the back account. You're not following the account. Go ahead and hit that follow button and also follow the main account. I'm going to be on the main account later, so make sure you actually follow both of them. All right, Jay.
Get a W Johnny in the chat.
That works out. Yeah, W Johnny in the chat.
No, hold on, J3. because he's talking about himself. You're J3. You're not Johnny right
We're
now.
both Johnny though.
No, but no, you're not Johnny right now. You're J3. He's saying for himself. What are you getting a W for, Johnny?
Because you're trying to shift from the point that there's people here who just get in so easily. They just come here and say either you said they get 1 foot in, they should be good to go. So you're telling me if Osama bin Laden wanted to come in, put 1 foot in, you'd be so okay him
Asylum seeker.
Yeah, being an asylum seeker.
Yeah,
you have no love for the country that shaped you, the person you are. So it's so sad.
Johnny, first and foremost, the fuck. No one said anything about Osama bin Laden. Stop it. Stop it. I sat there and let you know.
Hold up.
No, I let you speak, and now I'm going to speak. I don't know. I don't know how. Oh, I didn't even realize you were here. Hold on. I didn't even see you here. What up, Joey?
What up, Santana?
Why didn't you text me?
Oh no, I've been listening. I just can't take this conversation anymore. I don't like Chat GPT debaters. It's disingenuous as fuck. I saw them or heard them talking about asylum seekers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they know that Canada's accepting asylum seekers from the USA as well, because people of the LGBT community are being targeted. So
targeted. What are we doing? We're locking them up.
Joey, are you Mexican?
Hold on.
I am. I'm a DACA recipient.
I got a question for you.
One second.
Hold up. I'm Mexican as well.
Fucking second. Stop talking, both of you. I was talking to Joey. You both hold on, and then one person can talk to him at a time. We're not going to talk over everyone. Anyway, finish your point, Joey.
No, it was just that, because I heard him saying about asylum seeking, and I caught glimpses because I was teleporting back home. So I just didn't know where their stance was completely on it.
Johnny, you have an echo, so I'm muting you. Again, you don't get to talk yet. Finish, Joey. Johnny, I'm telling you, you're gonna have fucking impulse control this morning. I don't know what's going on. I know it's later for you, but it's only 10:18 for both me and Joey. Slow the fuck down. Go ahead, Joey.
For real. No, but that was it. I just kind of wanted to thank you for bringing me up. I was just kind of listening and actually taking this conversation. So I'm good on.
Don't leave. Joey,
I'm not.
He wasn't leaving, bud, but you have to let him finish his sentence. You don't know what he was saying because you were busy trying to say, hold up.
Okay, finish.
You know what? No, fuck that. Hold on 1 second. Guys, chat. Do we want to start a kick fund for Johnny? Put a 3 in the chat for yes. Put a 1 in the chat for no. Do we want to start a kick fund for Johnny? Put a 3 in the chat for yes. Put a 1 in the chat for no.
Hold up, Joey.
3 in the chat for Johnny.
What's your
kick fund? Yes.
Wait,
and 1.
Want to hear what I have to say?
Shut up for a second, Johnny. All right. 3s have it, guys. You know the deal.
There's one.
Johnny, hold the fuck up. You guys know the deal. $100 kick. If you guys want to get Johnny out of here, we do a crowd fund of $100 total to kick someone. So if you guys want Johnny gone, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Santana speaks for you. Send it over and we'll get him out of here. Now, Johnny
don't have money anyways. Joey, I got a question for you. You're Mexican.
Johnny, you did not let me finish my sentence.
Oh my God.
Bro, what is the fucking problem with you?
You end a sentence, you start a new one. But no, before you end it.
That's how talking works, bud. But when people stop talking, that's when you can talk, not when they're starting a new sentence.
But this panel, is it more trolling or is it more serious talk?
It's my fucking debate live. What are you talking about? Go.
Joey.
What's up, man?
Hold up. So what do you think about the liberals who try to destroy our culture, who want to label us as Latinx? Because in Hispanic culture, we have masculine, feminine. It's a big part of our culture. And you have them trying to label us as Latinx. You have them disrespecting our Bible. You saw what Kamala Harris did at the rally, where she said, Jesus, you're at the wrong rally. What's your thoughts on that?
Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny.
Well,
Hold up. Holy fuck. W's in the chat for Shannon. Shannon just said, fuck that. and sent $100 dono and said 3 kick Johnny. Shannon
kicked,
said, fuck that. And just literally I have no, like, I don't normally kick people. That's why I do like a kick fun, because that's not a normal thing for me. Like it's hard enough to get people up here who's not scared to debate and all this other stuff. So I don't do kick funs, and like, unless they're fucking insufferable. And Shannon said, fuck him.
All right. When y'all kick me, can I get $20?
We're not starting a kick fun for you, bud.
Oh, it won't be long, I'm sure.
Anyway, Joey, you can answer the question, and then we'll go on.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a response to that question. That was a pretty good question.
Yeah, so he addressed a lot, and I was just trying to make sure that I was getting all his points. But damn W for whoever donated that.
Shannon said, get him out of here. A million W's in the chat for Shannon, guys. Keep that going. Holy smokes.
Yeah, and so to answer that question, so for sure, right? I personally don't agree with the term Latinx, but all that did was so that you wouldn't refer to somebody as Latino or Latina, because there's people that identify as differently than that, right? That wasn't an attack on our culture. That wasn't an attack on, he said, our Bible. Mind you, is Mexico a Catholic country? For sure, right? But that doesn't mean everybody partakes in that religion. That's why there's a separation of church and state. Not only, I mean, we're talking about here in the States, right? But I'm a big believer in separating that through and through. I don't remember what his third point was. But yeah, it's not a liberal belief, right? The previous administration did a lot for us, for the Latino community. So, I mean, them giving us a label like that doesn't necessarily put us down. I don't know where he was trying to get at that with that point. It was just more inclusive, if anything.
I think that he was trying to.
But I think it's safe to say that left ideology doesn't really align with Christian views as much as the right ideology.
No, that's a lie.
Ooh. So I want to talk about that. Hold on. No. I don't want to call you Johnny, because I feel like that would taint how you've been so far. And Johnny was insufferable, so I'm still gonna keep calling you J3, okay?
All right, that's fine.
All right. J3. Can you tell me what Christian values or belief that Donald Trump exemplifies that uphold the Christian faith?
No, you're moving the goalpost. I didn't make the claim that Donald Trump supported Christian values. I never made that claim.
Okay, but you said your claim was the left doesn't align with Christian values.
No, I didn't say that either. I said the left's views less likely or less in line with Christian values than the right.
Okay, all right. So I'll accept that the left views are less in line with Christian values than the right. Okay, perfect. Can you tell me what values of Christianity that the right upholds that are more or better than the left?
As far as in relation to Christianity, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at LGBTQ policies that the left wants to in place, you look at transgender policies that the left wants to put in place, those all, in my Christian view, don't align with my Christian morals. Same with abortion. I don't believe it's right to murder children. I don't think any of those views align with a Christian morality.
Okay, cool. Johnny, would you consider yourself to be a good Christian?
No, absolutely not.
Wait, so if you don't consider yourself to be a good Christian, then how can you use your Christianity as your moral compass to then cast judgment on the values or alignment of the left or the right? That doesn't make sense.
My personal way that I go about Christianity has nothing to do with an entire political party in this country.
The question I'm trying to get to, or I guess the understanding, is because, like, if I say that my beliefs are rooted in my religion, then I would, at the very least, say that I am a good X of whatever the religion is.
I mean, as a Christian, you can understand that you're not good. That's part of what Christianity teaches.
Maybe there's a misunderstanding as far as what I'm saying. So let me reword this. Would you consider yourself to be someone who knows Christianity, who has studied Christianity, and who practices it?
There's certain things that I know, and there's certain things that I try to do with my life. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm this 100% heroic Christian guy. You know, that's not me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me move forward to my point then, and I want to get back to Joey and let him chime in as well. When you started talking about the queer community, right? Because the disparities when it comes to Christianity and the persecution of the queer community, it's man-made, it's manufactured, and it's not even old. Do you know when the Bible was changed in order to actually talk about, quote unquote, man shall not lie with man?
Are you referencing the Levitical law?
No, I'm referring to the actual Bible book.
Well, okay. Well, there's multiple places in the Bible that reference homosexuality as a sin.
That's not what he's asking.
What I'm saying is, do you know when the actual wording about man shall not lie with man, the actual wording, when they started saying man and man, do you know when they did that?
No, I don't.
1940s.
Okay. How does that change my perspective on things?
Sure. Do you know what that wording was in the Bible before they changed it?
No, I wasn't alive before the 1940s.
I wasn't either, bud. But like, you know, I got a Google machine. I don't know if you got a Google machine, but I got one.
That's probably not the best reference, man. I would suggest that you get away from your Google machine and do some real research.
You understand that like a Google machine is a search engine that allows you to gain information from different access and resource. You can find information and then you actually consume the information and you actually cipher it. You don't have to consume what's just given to you. You can actually critically think past that point, but it gives you an opportunity to get to information. Anyway,
let me just ask you
the point that I'm trying to make is,
do you think it's best to go to a theologian to ask these things or to Google?
Both.
Who do you think would be better?
Both. Would you like for me to get a theologian? Because I can, and it would get way worse for you if I do. I promise you, if I grab one of my theologian friends, it's going to get really bad for you.
I don't think
seriously.
So. I mean, if you talk to any true theologian, maybe you have somebody in your following that is that claims to be a reverend or what, you know.
Sure. Don't worry. I'm going to text Jeff right now. I'm telling you, it's going to be bad.
J3, before while Santana's doing that, I'm a practicing Christian, right? And I'm what you would consider somebody that leans more left than anything. So exactly what aligns with your beliefs that are more biblical, right? Especially while you support somebody like Donald Trump, where he's not feeding the children, he's not helping the people that are in need when it comes to medical treatment. I mean, what about that screams Christianity? I don't get that. Mind you, we can talk about him himself being a criminal, but I know the Bible uses that and turns it into good. So I know that you might make that excuse, right? But there's simply nothing that Trump has said that makes him a Christian. He's never repented. He's actually made the claim that he's never repented. So I don't know why you're trying to use this biblical context.
I never
if you
once
yourself aren't a practicing Christian.
I never once said that the reason I support Trump is because of his Christian values.
Request that,
made
Jeff.
that claim.
Never, Jeff.
Never, not once.
You didn't. Also, let me just say this really quick. The point that I was trying to make is that prior to the 1940s, the actual saying was man shall not lie with children. It was talking about being a PDF file. Right. But the propaganda has shifted it and made it seem as if they're targeting the queer community. So it's a whole thing. Hey, Jeff.
Yo, catch me up. What's going on?
So I was talking to this guy. He's a Christian. Right. I said, are you a good Christian? He said, no. I said, oh, OK. Because he said the right upholds Christianity more than the left. And I said, hey, so what are your premises as far as the upholding Christianity? He said, of course, talking about the queer community. And of course, he talked about abortion. I started to talk about like, hey, do you know when the Bible was changed with the wording where they specifically turned it to a man shall not lie with man? And he was like, no, I wasn't born in the 40s. I said in the 40s. He said, I wasn't born in the 40s. I said, I wasn't either. I used the Google machine because, you know, I can gain access there. And he's like, oh, do you think that it's better to use Google or to actually listen to a theologian? I said, listen, if you want, I can grab a theologian, but it's going to get way worse for you. I'm telling you, like, you might want to stick with me with Google. And he was like, oh, no. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Jeff, get here. And so now you're here.
Yeah, please enlighten me.
Well, all right. So what flavor of Christian are you? Like,
what does that mean?
Jeff, he's already admitted that he's not a good Christian. He's not going to be able to keep.
I'm okay with that. I'm really good with that. Like, are you a Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox?
In the past, I've been a Protestant, but I don't understand how that relates to this conversation.
Well, because there's a ton of different flavors of Christian, and they all disagree. So I just want to know what I'm dealing with before.
Sure, we have a Bible, and that's kind of how we root. That's kind of how I choose to root my morality is through the Bible.
Oh, okay, cool. So, what would you say if you had to whittle down the two or three most important like moral claims from Christianity? What would you say they were?
2 or 3 most important moral claims from Christianity?
Yeah.
Probably loving your neighbor and do as he would do, I guess.
So the golden rule.
I mean, there's many different moral claims that are made in the Bible, and
are they all equal?
Those, for me personally, would be probably the 2 that I try to live by the best.
But are all the moral claims in the Bible equal?
No, I don't think so. And that's probably a hot take for a Christian person to say that. But I think that there's certain parts of the Bible that are influenced by humanity, and we can't necessarily think of that as law that we should live in our lives.
That's going to be a little messy because I don't know that you have a methodology for determining which ones are.
I can cherry pick.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
That's how
so
that's how I shape an argument based off of.
But you're just agreeing,
Jeff.
Yeah, you're just agreeing with me. Like you don't have a methodology. You're just cherry picking, right?
Well, based off in my human brain, I can make selections based off of what, like, for instance, there's some Old Testament law. I think it's Levitical law that says that women shouldn't show their ankles. I think as human beings, we've progressed past that. And I don't necessarily believe that.
Look, I just want to make sure that we're agreed, right? When you say you're cherry picking and you say, I'm using my brain, there are 2 options here. You either have a rational basis, which would be the methodology, or you don't, which would be the feelings. Just saying as humans, we've progressed past that, right? I could say as humans, we've progressed past homophobia, but you wouldn't agree with that, right?
No, absolutely. I would agree. I think we have progressed past homophobia.
Okay, so then it's no longer a sin to be gay.
No, I didn't say that. I said we progressed past homophobia.
So then it is a sin for women to show their ankles.
No, I don't believe so.
So you see the inconsistency we have immediately.
Yeah. I can see your argument. Absolutely. It doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the fact. The reason you're up here is because
hold on. Hold on. What fact doesn't it change?
That I can choose what I want to be moral or not based off of my Christian beliefs. So then, and there's nothing you can do or any other person can do to change that.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you what the entailment of that is.
Sure, you can draw whatever entailment you want from that.
No, it's not my entailment. It's your entailment.
Hey, look, Jeff, Joey, I'm gonna go grab another cup of coffee real quick. Jeff, don't break my toy.
No, I'm not. Please. We're gonna have a good conversation because in a lot of senses, I think Johnny and I are going to agree. He's just not going to like what that agreement means.
I thought I was going to get destroyed, man.
You are.
Okay,
hold on, right. Johnny. I'm in a good mood. Johnny, I'm in a good mood today. If you wanted to get like mean, I don't want to be mean, right?
No. I got you. Yeah.
So like we're gonna have a cordial destroying. It's okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a singular pipeline to communicate with God, like just you?
Yes.
You do. That nobody else possesses.
No, everybody possesses the ability to pray.
So it's not a singular pipeline that only you have.
It's my pipeline.
Hold on. When I say singular pipeline, I mean when God makes moral judgments, he communicates it only to you.
Oh, no, absolutely. No.
Okay, good. Because of that, if you're saying that you can decide, you're either saying that only the people that agree with you have the actual correct. There is no God, or I don't care about him, and I'm just deciding for myself.
Say that again. You kind of.
So, if you're saying that you can just pick and choose, right?
Mm-hmm. Which even though Christian does, by the way.
Even though I agree with you. Even though Jesus says, "Whoever violates the least of these and teaches others to do the same will be called least," blah, 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 right? Even though it says that in the book, if you say you can pick and choose, then you're either saying that only the people who agree with you have the correct pipeline to talk to God, or who cares what God says? I'm just going to pick and choose for myself.
No, I think it's important to try to live your life by what the Bible teaches.
Okay. The Bible teaches the thing about the ankles, though.
Right.
So, you're just acknowledging we're back to square one. So either the God thing is important and only you can talk to him and the people who agree with you.
It's your view. And I'm sorry, are you a theologian?
I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist.
Yes.
Okay. Santana said that he was going to bring up a theologian.
I've studied theology.
So you consider yourself an expert in theology?
When I said
I don't think anybody's an expert in theology.
Theologians are. It's literally by the definition. By the definition.
No.
By the definition.
Look, theology. Stop. Theology is not. Theology is a domain of philosophy that studies theology, that studies like the divine, right?
Santana mentioned the Google machine. Why don't you Google a theologian?
Listen, Johnny.
Hold on, Johnny. Stop trying to run from what Jeff is saying. You don't have the ability to keep up with the conversation.
No, we can absolutely have the conversation. But the fact is, you didn't bring up a theologian. You brought up an atheist.
Look, just to be clear. Wait, hold on. Time out. Hey, Johnny.
Give me a second.
Johnny, stop.
You're literally trying to run from the fact that Jeff is sitting here and he's putting you in the box and you have no answers because you are not only a quote unquote bad Christian, but you don't know the Bible, you don't know your religion, and now you're saying you brought me an atheist, not a quote-unquote theologian. And when I said that Jeff is a theologian, I mean it, not because he has the title, but because he can absolutely dissect the religion, and that's the point.
Well, he just admitted he's not an expert in theology.
No.
By definition, a theologian is an expert in theology.
Johnny, a theologian is someone who studies theology.
Google it.
You know why nobody can be an expert in theology? Do you know why nobody can be an expert in theology?
Why is that?
Because it just amounts to fan fiction.
Either way, we can move past the theologian point.
Great.
You brought up a point, and I want to go.
Do you disagree with my analysis that if you're just cherry picking, and you agree that you agree that the Bible is true, right?
What do you mean by true? What does that mean?
Meaning it's not false.
I think that there are stories in the Bible. I think that the Bible is divinely influenced.
Great. Is it true?
Not necessarily every aspect, no.
Okay. How do you determine which aspect of the Bible is true and which aspect is not true?
If you're asking me to think that 2 of every animal hopped on a ship and the world was flooded,
there's an easy escape to that.
Hold on. No. I'm sorry. You said when you were earlier, you were talking about your religion and you were talking about how you actually live. You said we have a Bible, right? Those were your words. We have a Bible.
That's where I draw my morality from.
You actually use the Bible and you quote unquote live by the Bible, but now you're saying that this Bible, the book that you reference, you're now saying that part of the book isn't real.
I didn't say that. Yes, if in your context, yes, I don't think that every aspect of the Bible happened historically.
It's not consistent with this is just weaselly, right? Like it's not consistent with saying that the ark didn't happen with saying that it's not true. It could be an allegory, right?
Well, the truth of the matter is nobody on this panel was there, so we don't know. However, you can draw human conclusions based off of reality, right? I understand as a Christian that the Bible is divinely influenced. There was some sort of morality that God was trying to teach us when he wrote those things or when he had those things written. However, they were written by human beings, and we as humans know that we make mistakes and we're sinners.
All right, cool. So instead of going through the entirety, let's focus. Let's localize.
Okay.
There are 2 different moralities in Jesus's speech, and they're 10 chapters apart. In Matthew 15, there's something that me and some other sociologists and some academics call proto-racism. Do you know what proto-racism is?
I don't know.
Proto-racism is like the framework under which racism can arise later.
Sure.
Are you familiar with Matthew 15?
I'm sure I read it. I can't think of it.
Okay, Matthew 15 has to do with the Canaanite woman.
Oh yeah.
Who goes up to Jesus and asks for her daughter to be healed. Do you remember what happens with her?
I think she ended up dying. If I'm not
No, she didn't.
Wait,
She didn't.
Wait, hold on. Don't give it to him, Jeff. Johnny, go look it up. Give me a second. Juan, what the fuck are you spamming in the comments for? You're being weird. You're up here now. Say what you got to say.
Well, you said this whole Bible conversation started with you saying that the words changed on the 1940s, and then before that it said what?
It talked about being a PDF file.
Okay. King James Version was written in 1611. Is that correct?
I can go look it up, but go ahead with the point. And when you swipe out of the app, we can't hear you. So you have to, whatever you're looking at, you have to either write it down, memorize it or something, and then stay in the app in order to talk, because we can't hear you when you go out.
Okay. So on 1611, it said, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind." Where on that does that say about pedophiles?
What are you reading?
King James Version,
okay,
1611. Exactly what you're saying.
I'll entertain this if you can tell me what the Hebrew word for mankind is.
Why don't you tell us, Jeff?
No,
you don't know?
No. You tell us.
It's so easy. You know it.
Okay, so I'll give you another one.
No. Run.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
You do know it. You do know it.
Okay, I should know it. I don't know it.
It's so easy. Like it's Adam.
He's gonna say it's Adam. They've got a twisted view of how things work. Right?
Hold on, wait.
Okay,
hold on. Time out. Stop, Johnny.
Okay, so if it said it's Adam, then what does Adam mean?
Stop. Look, I want to know if I'm dealing with dishonesty now. Johnny, are you right now telling me that
are you talking to Johnny or Juan?
Johnny, because he raised the objection. Are you telling me
we're not
right
talking
now?
No, that was me.
Okay.
That was me.
I'm not talking to Juan. Okay.
Yeah, you're talking to him.
Who said that we have a twisted way of looking at the word Adam?
I said that.
All right, Johnny, are you telling me that the Hebrew word for mankind is not Adam?
No, it is Adam.
All right, so now I want you to go on.
However,
no, there's no however, because that's the only thing I said.
Okay, can I say something else?
I haven't made any entailments from that, so I was correct, and you just unmuted to be Christian, like
Jeff.
like a Christian liar. So Juan, what point do you think you're making? Right
okay, just let me give you another example. Okay, just give me one second.
After you give me the example, can I give you an example?
Yes. So Geneva Bible, that's another
all right,
translation, right? Geneva Bible of 1560. Of 1560. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. That's two old tradition.
Every translation going back to the Hebrew is going to.
And this is 1560.
Johnny, you hold on for a second.
Please tell me where on there does it say anything about kids?
What point do you think you're making right now?
Well, I'm making the point that Santana said that the words changed in the 1940s because they were attacking gay people.
Bible, yes, it was actually changed
because they were attacking gay people.
1947. Yes,
and it turns out
in the King James Bible,
okay,
it was changed in 1947 to say mankind. Man shall not lie with man. I wasn't mentioning the Hebrew
King
text.
James Version was written in 1611, not in 1940.
I said it was changed in the U.S. It was literally changed in the U.S. You said 1946. Yeah, well, it was published because what happened was the rights to publish the King James Bible was bought by a company. And once they bought the rights to publish the King James Bible within the U.S., they changed the words.
Can I say something real quick?
No, not yet. We're still talking to Juan, and then he's getting the fuck out of here. So Juan, now get to it.
Well, I just got to it. You're trying to point it as like stop. They just changed those words in 1940.
Juan, stop.
Well,
stop,
let me answer.
Stop.
Let me answer.
No, stop. What year was the last version revision for the King James Version?
I don't know right now.
All right, so now you can leave.
Why? What does that prove?
The last official version revision was in 1769, and they've changed words since then in publications. Now you can leave. All right. So we don't even have to go through that. I didn't want to get derailed.
Two other really quick things. One, I saw someone in the chat saying, I thought we paid to kick the Johnny. There were two Johnnies on the panel. You guys paid to kick the insufferable Johnny. This is J3. So there's that. And then also a couple of W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Susan, who originally sent 10 towards the kick. W's in the chat for Doris, who sent 20 towards the kick. W's in the chat for Stacy, who sent a $10 donation saying, love you, Santana. Can't say the same for your guest who's who praise white government official criminals. Yeah, they do. They love their white governmental official criminals. They all do. I don't know. It's weird. W's in the chat for Joe for the $3 donation saying, Kamala did not tell religious people to quote unquote leave a rally. She was talking to Trump supporters and they were heckling the crowd. Video is clear as day. If you're basing your vote off of that, I'm not going to say that, but they are not smart. They absolutely are not. And also W's in the chat for Amber for the $15 donation saying, hi, my dad is actually more conservative. My dad was actually more conservative until he studied to become a pastor and realized if you really follow the teachings, you'd be a liberal. Just saying, he's a liberal pastor in the South too. Exactly. Like that's why I said, do you actually follow the teachings of, Jesus? Because if they really did, there's no way they could align with the things that the Republican Party is doing. Like that doesn't make sense. Also, W's in the chat for Patty, who sent $5 Canadians to say kick Johnny Fund. That was earlier. Thank you so much, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and links are in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out, guys. Make sure you take care of Joey while he's hanging out. And also make sure you take care of Jeff while he's dog walking this J3 guy. Show them some love. Make sure you show them some love. All right, Jeff, you got it.
All right, so I'm going to give you
fun to kick me, man. I gotta run.
I'm going to try to make this quick. I just want to know which moral proposition you affirm. There's two moral stories here. The first one in Matthew 15, starting at verse 21, Jesus not only calls a woman a dog, but he makes her refer to herself as a dog in order to heal her daughter. Right after that, he goes to the Sea of Galilee and heals people without calling them dogs, just heals everybody, feeds a bunch of people with the loaves and fishes. That's literally right after he calls a non-Israelite woman a dog. So this is proto-racism. Do you know why?
No, not at all.
So you think it's okay to have a different standard of healing for one group of people than another?
No, I never said that either. But
okay, so now you do understand why it's proto-racism.
No, I don't.
Okay, so he makes one woman call herself a dog because she's a non-Israelite, telling her that he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and then goes to the Israelites and doesn't call them a dog. You think it's
showed favoritism towards the Israelites? What's that got to do with racism?
Okay, so you don't understand it? Fine. In Matthew 25...
Answer my question.
That is racism.
He showed favoritism towards the Israelites.
Hold on.
How is that racism?
Wait. I said it's proto-racism. When you asked what is proto-racism, I said it is the foundation on which racism can arise. Then I asked you, do you think it is okay to have two different standards? And you said, nah.
So proto-racism is going to be birth, right? That's proto-racism to an extent, right?
Bro, do you listen?
Am I right?
Hold on. Hey, Marshmallow Brain. When you asked me what do I mean by proto-racism, what did I say? I get the nervous laughter. What did I say?
You said the ability to become racist, right?
No, that's not what I said. Okay,
that's what you said.
I understand your confusion. It means you have a dearth of English understanding. I said it is a foundation on which racism can arise. The showing of favoritism to one group of people over another is proto-racism.
No, it's
and
not.
When somebody... Oh, so no? Okay,
no,
cool. So
you're just making a silly argument, man. I thought you were a theologian.
No. Look. It's fine. I'll take the challenge. You don't agree. So I want you to tell me the difference between these two stories. I'm going to read the faith of a Canaanite woman, Matthew 15:21, and then I'm going to tell you a parallel story of something that may have happened in 1947 in the United States. Leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly." Meanwhile, in 1947, a black woman, a mother, goes right outside a whites-only hospital, bringing her sick daughter who needs medicine. Jesus did not answer a word, so his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." Meanwhile, in 1947 at the hospital, one of the nurses calls out and says, "Don't you see this is a whites-only hospital?" The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." Meanwhile, in 1947 at the whites-only hospital, they say, "We can't give aspirins." Can I say the word, man? You cool with it?
What? Oh, yeah. Fuck it. You what?
Yeah. No, but I'm a lean into it. Listen, we can't give aspirin to this nigger, right? Yes, it is, Lord, she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. The 1947 woman says, "I may be an N-word. I'm not going to put that word on her lips. But you guys are much more important than me, but I don't want my daughter to die, please." Then Jesus said to her, "Women, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed at that moment. And at the hospital, they don't let her in, but they just throw her a bunch of aspirin, right? And they go, you know your place. Tell me what the difference is between those two stories.
What in the world? How could you?
I want you to know. Listen.
Possibly make
one
that
of your
connection?
Christians said I'm misinterpreting the passage.
You are
Santana,
absolutely
did I
misinterpreting the
interpret the passage or did I read the passage?
The level of mental gymnastics you have to
Hold on.
complete.
Look, you can expose me. Listen.
To an experience of racism.
All of this is meta. All of this,
like
listen.
crazy.
All of this is meta. All of this is meta. I don't care about the meta. I read the passage and I gave you a separate story, right?
Yeah, sure.
Then I asked the question, what is the difference? You can either take that challenge and tell me what the difference is, or you can just cry and whine and say, "Oh my God, did you just do that?" Yes, I did just do that.
Okay, when did the lady in the Bible experience racism?
I didn't ask you that question. I said, hold on, that wasn't my claim. I said, what is the difference between those two stories in principle?
There's a huge difference. One is a story in the Bible. One is a made-up story that you just came up with.
Wait,
okay.
So go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Everybody sees it. Everybody sees the dishonesty. I said in principle. So you couldn't see that story happening in 1947?
Sure. There's been racism in 1947.
Okay, great. So now, in principle, those two stories, I just gave them to you in the same format. What is the difference?
You didn't.
I didn't read the story from the Bible?
You read the story from the Bible, but your made-up story.
Great. Hold on. So that I did. And I didn't just recite the story in parallel for the other one, the 1947 story.
You didn't make any connection of parallelity.
Okay. So tell me what the difference is.
The difference is you're trying to push a silly narrative in your version of the story, whereas
that's meta. That's meta and rhetoric. I'm asking about content. I don't care. Like I told you, I don't give a fuck about meta. Like I could do the same thing. You're just trying to push some Christian narrative. I don't care about
pushing anything.
No, listen. But I said it, right? I'm not pushing it. Okay, fine. I'm not pushing anything. Now, tell me what the difference in the content is. Focus, lock in, focus on the substance.
One is in the context of the Bible. Another one is a made up story.
Yeah, one is in a storybook. I mean, listen, do you know what, when I say context and when I say content and substance, do you know what I mean?
I don't think he does.
No, not by your worldview. Absolutely not.
Not by my worldview, by English.
So,
Johnny, you haven't proven any mental stability.
J3, in order to get through this, because I feel like you are literally trying to drag this down because you know that you fucked up. I want to be very clear. In the two stories, we don't want to hear about one is made up and one's from the Bible. Like you've stated that point multiple times. That's not what we're talking about. Can you actually tell us what's the difference between the two stories as far as the substance of the stories, the meaning of the stories, the actual, guts of the story?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. One is scripture,
right? One is scripture that's been divinely influenced. The other one is complete human bullshit.
Thank you for the shade. So you just said, wait, so you hold on, Jeff. So you just said the same thing in a different way. Did you not?
He did. Look,
J3,
I'm just going to
hold on. It's J3. So you just said the same thing in a different way, right?
Sure.
Okay, so you're being dishonest, right? You're being intellectually dishonest at this point, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
If I sat there and said, I'm gonna give it back to you in just a second, Jeff. I got to get this. If I sat there and said, we don't want to talk about you saying that one's from the Bible and one's made up, and you say it in a different way, are you being intellectually dishonest?
No.
Okay, great. Let me inject this. Okay, this is 8 chapters earlier. I want you to read along with me, Johnny. This is Matthew 7:6. Ready?
Sure.
What does this say?
Do not give. I can't see it, man.
Okay, fine. I'll read it.
Just read it.
Do not give dogs what is sacred. Okay, this is Jesus speaking in the same book.
Right.
So now he has made a decree. Don't give to dogs what is sacred. And then he tells the woman the same thing. So you tell me, what is the difference between Jesus calling the woman a dog, having herself call herself a dog, and the whites only hospital saying, we don't serve N-words in here.
The way that you're able to take things out of context. I want you to go back to Matthew. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. Because I remember what you read, and what you said is just so completely out of context.
Here's what I want you to do so that I don't call you dishonest.
We're going to reread this.
No, nothing. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me what I got mistaken when I read it.
Okay.
And remember,
Matthew 26.
I want you to listen. I want you to stop talking for a second. I'm telling you about two.
Talk.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
because they're going to mute you.
Or you can.
They're just going to mute somebody. Somebody's going to mute.
Seriously, Johnny. At this point, like Jeff is still engaging with you. I've already you're literally being intellectually dishonest, and that's no. We can't, because you're being intellectually dishonest. So at the very least, if you're not going to be intellectually honest, then stop fucking interrupting. At the very least, stop interrupting.
Here's the thing, Johnny, right? I haven't injected any interpretation into the story itself. You said context, right? The context of this story is he's just talking to his followers and indirectly to the Pharisees.
Okay.
Because the beginning of this chapter is even worse.
Matthew 26. Matthew 26, Jeff, what does it say?
We are at the beginning of my presentation. If you're going to give me something that contradicts, you're just affirming my position.
No, your position is bullshit. You're taking things out of context.
Okay, what is the context of Matthew 15?
Matthew 26 says he
Matthew 26 is later. Matthew 26 is before he gets crucified.
Where did he call the woman a dog?
What is the
call the woman a dog? Where did
in
he
Matthew
call the woman
15? In Matthew 15. In Matthew 15. In Matthew 15. In Matthew 15.
Matthew 15.
Jeff, give it a second. Because Chewy was in the chat, and Chewy, you said you had something, and I because at this point he's I'm not gonna say it.
You are correct, but I hope that you saw the last Cash App that I sent you, because it's for your labor. It's for nothing else. It's for nothing else. I just wanted to say thank you for educating us. I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to do this. I just wanted to say that, and I wanted you to know that I follow you. So anything that you do, I watch. As a conservative, and nope, don't even read it out loud. That's for you, nobody else. And the only question that I have for the panel, and if he interrupts me, go for it. When does, in the 39 books of the Old Testament and the 22 books of the New Testament, mention anything about white people?
Are you asking me? I never made that claim, so I
no. I don't even know you, Johnny. So
I hope he's been watching long enough. He's hella disingenuous. Like, you're not going to get a straight answer.
Yes. But I wasn't even asking you, Johnny. I was coming from a Christian standpoint of education. I teach theology. I have the Quran, the Bible, the Tanakh right next to me. In any of the Old Testament or the New Testament, when does it mention white people? Because in the area that it currently takes place is of the Arabian Peninsula, right. It's people of color.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Jesus was white or something?
No, I didn't say any of that. I promise. I didn't say any of that. My question is white people weren't created until 6,000 years ago. And so when you're using the Bible, who are you quoting?
What?
I didn't stutter. That's okay.
When I'm using the Bible,
Do you mind if I ask you it in a different way?
No, I understood your question.
He's not going to track because it doesn't apply to him.
What relevance does that have to this conversation?
Because when it comes to the superiority of this country and the 27 amendments in the Constitution and 3 articles, the people that are in charge are not the people that would allow Jesus into this country.
What in the world? Why would you ever make that claim?
Because you didn't know that white wasn't mentioned in 72 books of the Bible.
I never said that. I agree with you. I don't think it was mentioned.
Okay,
I can't think of the time when it was. Right, so what does that have to do with this conversation? How's that relevant?
Are you ready? So
yes.
by the superiority of the Bible, white people are inferior.
Okay, sure. If you want to take that racist claim, that's fine.
It's not a racist claim. It's the Bible. White people are not mentioned in 72 books.
Doesn't mean they're inferior. People with one leg aren't mentioned either. Does that mean they're inferior? I mean, come on. Let's get realistic here.
You're right.
This is silly.
You're right. I just want to make sure, Johnny. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I haven't said anything of ad hominems. I haven't said anything along those lines. So I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to say anything along those lines. I'm trying to put picture to paper.
Okay.
That's all. I promise.
I
Johnny, just to make sure we're on the same page, I'm a conservative that advocated for Trump, and now I currently decimate that man.
Okay. And you're a conservative that has racist views. That's fine.
The point that I think that you're missing, right, is, and like both Jeff and Chewy have done this, like literally have done this.
Done what?
Your actual premise of the Bible is flawed, right? Your premise of cherry picking the Bible is flawed. And you also, sitting here,
doesn't every single human being that follows a religion
Johnny, exactly. You said how
every single person.
All right, you ready? Because we're gonna go Bible for Bible. In the second verse of 26 of Exodus, what does it say when Deuteronomy is about to commence in the 5 books of Moses?
No clue. I don't know.
Okay, so then listen to what Santana has to say, because as somebody that teaches the Bible on the conservative side from North Carolina that is on the red side, I just need you to listen. I'm not asking for anything else, and I'm not being disrespectful. But when he sits there and you can't quote this stuff and he's asking you all these questions in front of 1,700 people, we just need to listen sometimes, because you are okay in your viewpoint. I'm saying that from our side, but there's something wrong with what's happening right now, and he's trying to express it. So I just ask you to listen. That's all. I have my cross on my fucking neck. Sure. I just ask you to listen. That's all I ask.
I don't even think it's worth me speaking. I want to go back to Joey for a second, because Joey, I know he's a good Christian, right? But I think understanding the importance, even if you're going to base your morality in your religion, because I never shit on people for their religion. I do shit on them for utilizing their religion as a sword instead of a shield, which most religions teach and practice, like the premise of being a good person, doing good things, helping people, right? And then now moving from that to being harmful and attacking and that's a whole thing. But I'm at the end of my road with it. I don't think I have more words, so I want to pass it to Joey.
And good Christians, by the way.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I kind of lost it when you said that you pick and choose what you believe in the Bible. So if you're a practicing Christian, you believe the Bible is the word, right? So I don't know where you would get the grounds that you can pick and choose. That doesn't make sense to me. Johnny, can you elaborate on that?
Every day. Yeah, sure. You do it every day. You choose to live a sinful life. There's certain things that we as humans, we can't control, right? If you might tell a small lie or something, that you're sinful in those actions. However,
so sorry, Johnny. I am currently, Johnny, I'm reporting on the Catholic priest and the pastors from Nicaragua all the way to Italy, Fancolo. I'm doing all of that right now. So I just ask you, and I'm asking you from an area of not color or anything else in between, to just listen. Because on our side, there are more priests and pastors that are coming out of touching little boys and girls than on the left. And those are stats. Those are stats by Donald Trump. Those are stats by Clinton. Those are stats by Bush. Those are stats by Martin Van Buren. Those are stats by all 47 of your presidents that align with the Republican ideology of the Constitution. That's all I'm asking.
He literally asked me a question.
I'm just, Johnny, I know. I'm interrupting, so I'm saying that. But I'm asking you to just listen to what John has to say. I'm telling you that was me. It was nobody else on the panel.
All right.
It was me, and I apologize.
Respectfully, I don't. There's nothing that you can say.
Respectfully, in the last 2 years, over 23 fucking priests in less than 73 nations have been found to grape over 800 children. So now I'm asking you to listen to what John has to say, because one thing for sure and two things for certain, here's my Constitution. I'm from the state of North Carolina. I don't play that shit with fake conservatives.
We don't play that shit.
Johnny, no, just like you let a woman finish, I'm going to finish my sentence. This is somebody on a TikTok app.
Yeah.
So unless you're telling everybody that you don't let a Johnny,
I want Joey to get back to his point, and at this point, you're just being a chaos agent. Like, Johnny, stop. Just stop. Chewy, please finish your point, and then I want Joey and Johnny to finish their conversation. Johnny,
just
stop.
For the comment section of Santana's, as somebody that has been taught by Santana and everything else in between, because I'm not talking to Johnny. There have been 72 priests in the last year that have been found to be fondling with children, both girls and boys, from the Church of the Pope all the way to Nicaragua, all the way to areas of India. So as conservatives, we are looking at the situation. As conservatives that we didn't vote for Donald Trump, we are going to fight instead with MAGA. So before the Democrats have to currently line up with that, we're going to take the opportunity to fuck them up first.
Thank you, Chewy. All right, Joey, go ahead and finish your conversation with Johnny. And Johnny, like, at this point, you're willfully being disingenuous in multiple ways.
I can't even answer the man's question without being willfully disingenuous.
No, because I actually stopped, and I was sitting. I know you see that it said host muted you. It said host muted you, but you for some reason kept trying to play the mute game with me. Stop it. Go ahead, Joey.
And Johnny, I know what you were trying to say there, that we do live a sinful life. You know, I sin on the daily. I believe a lot of us Christians do, right? But what I want to actually focus on is what you said about how Jeff told you about you bringing up the whole ankle thing. How you chose that one wasn't a sin because of your morals, right? Not the Bible morals. So I don't know why you're making the difference of what you choose to be sinful and what you don't choose to be sinful. Such as, like, if you're going based off Old Testament, do you wear clothes that are of two or more fabrics?
Well, are you sinning by doing that? I try not to apply. I in my personal life, I don't think and in socially, our human beings have progressed past a lot of those old Testament laws, right? I mean, there's no more stoning, well, unless you're a Muslim, but there's no more, a lot of the laws that took place in the Old Testament, we don't abide by those laws anymore because we've progressed as humans. However, there's certain morals that are thoroughly repeated in the Bible in the Old and the New Testament, and homosexuality is one of those. And
when in the New Testament is homosexuality brought up?
I believe it's in Matthew, right?
It's in the letters of Paul, right?
Sure.
It gets brought up, but again, it's not about homosexuality that you're referring to. It's referring to priests with younger boys.
Okay, whatever context you want to take it into, the fact is that multiple times in the Bible, that is a morality that has been brought to light, right? It's been proven multiple times.
Anybody that's
multiple times right now. Do we go over that?
I'm not Johnny. Give me a second. I'm not
already covered that. Like, we literally already covered that. You're being disingenuous again. Go ahead, Chewy.
Which is okay. For anybody, all 1,700 people, the chapters that talk about homosexuality they were changed from the Greek literate to the American literate to the English literate. And it was talking about little boys. It was talking about children. It never talked about homosexuality. And I need to tell you that with all books currently sitting under my Glock right next to me. I need to emphasize that to the moon and back.
Somebody should let somebody know that she's got a pew-pew. That's probably not a good thing.
No. It's my Second Amendment. You dumb bitch.
Yeah,
I thought you were
unhinged. Stop it.
You're unhinged. You probably shouldn't have that.
Stop it. Hold on. No, Chewy. Wait, Chewy. Because he's trying to. Chewy, he's trying to.
We need to get some red flag laws.
Hold on. Seriously, guys. Everyone stop. Chewy. He's trying to get a rise out of you because he knows that he's at the end of his rope. He wants to be kicked. Like, he's literally trying to antagonize you. There's no way you can be a fucking stop it. Joey, finish your point. Jeff, I don't know if you saw my message, but like, let's do it. Go ahead, Joey.
I don't remember like what was the last point that I said, and I don't actually know how to finish this, Johnny, because I don't think you're a practicing Christian. I just think you want to hold on to this morale. I don't know how much of the Bible you actually know based off of the questions that Jeff has asked. He knows a lot more than me, mind you. He's an atheist, right?
For Chewy.
I've only been a practicing Christian for the last year and 4 months now. So I'm still new to this. I'm still learning every day, reading my word. But dude, everything that I believe your first claim was that the left is less likely to lean with the Bible. But brother, that's not true. Your main point is not true. The right would not accept Jesus Christ if he walked into this country today, bro.
Jesus Christ would come here legally.
That's not true.
Motherfucker, what?
What?
That's not true.
Jesus Christ would come here legally. He'd go through a port of entry and do the steps needed to come here legally.
Did he go to Egypt legally?
Yeah, it's such a stupid argument. I mean, that's
hold on. Let's just
answer
answer Jeff's question,
man. Come on.
Let's just answer Jeff's question. Did he go to Egypt legally?
I want to hear his thoughts.
We're the unhinged.
Why do you think Jesus would come here legally? And then answer Jeff's question. Why do you think Jesus would come here legally? What makes you actually say that?
Because I think Jesus would abide by human laws.
Huh. Go ahead, Jeff.
When Jesus was, Jesus was an itinerant rabbi, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Before
do you know what itinerant means?
It means he went from place to place.
Okay. Does anything in the Bible say he went through ports of entry?
Do you think there were ports of entry in the?
So then you don't have a basis. So you don't have a basis to make the claim you just made.
Well, you don't have a basis to say he would come here. We wouldn't let him here. What basis do you have to say that?
So okay, cool. So you think he would follow the law of man?
Yes. Well, okay. No, not specifically Jesus, but
Jesus. We're talking about Jesus. Who are you talking about?
In the sense that Jesus being the Son of God, he doesn't need to follow humanistic laws.
So then he would come in. He would come in through anywhere he would.
I think that his morality would allow him to. Yes.
So wait, time out. You can't have it both ways. He would either follow. It's either the case that he would follow the law, or it's the case that he would not follow the law.
No, it's not either. It's not either the case.
Stop for a second. That's just logic. Stop for a second and think about that. W's in the chat from MAGA Cries, who sent a $2 donation saying Johnny's feelings are hurt because Jeff called his fake savior a racist. Holy shit. W's in the chat as well from MAGA Cries, who sent a $2 donation.
The only racist was the last lady.
Johnny.
She said white people.
Shut up. People like Johnny should have been swallowed. W's in the chat for Lou, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, cook him, Jeff. And I don't know about y'all, but Jeff got that narrative voice reading that passage. W Jeff. W's Jeff. W's Joey. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links and links are in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah. So those are the only two. Like either you're illogical, you have a third option. So either he would follow the law or he wouldn't.
My answer is that I'm not Jesus. I can't determine what he would do.
So now you have no idea. So I was right when I said,
Jeff, he's absolutely right. He's not Jesus. He cannot determine what Jesus could do or what Jesus would do, because Jesus in the Bible, it says Jesus performed miracles, right? Jesus walked on water. Jesus fed 5,000 people with fish and bread. Jesus healed the blind. Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead. Jesus did all of that. And while you are no Jesus, I do no magic. I know magic just like Jesus knew magic, and I will show you magic.
All right, let's see it.
Fuck off. Ain't no fucking way. Holy shit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I was fucking over it.
Like, Joey, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like, I don't know how it is for Christians to hear other Christians say, I just cherry pick. This is the third one I've heard, like, just this month, just go, I just cherry pick. It has to be enraging, right? Because then you're declaring yourself God, right? When you're cherry picking. And that's crazy.
No, it is. And I've struggled with that, right? Even in my own personal life. Like I hope they understand what conviction is, right? When you get convicted to do something, you can't fight that, right? If you're a Christian and you believe the Holy Spirit is within us, like there are certain things that, bro, when I became a Christian, it like fucked with my relationships because I was convicted to stop things that, you know, are looked as negatively if you're doing these things outside of marriage and whatnot, you know? And then you get to this point where you do cherry pick whether you believe in the Old Testament, the New Testament, if you believe that God gave that Jesus gave his life up to free us from the old what's it called Old Testament. Sorry. So I don't know. I don't get that because I really am of the belief that you can separate church and state, that you should separate church and state, because the Bible calls for nothing but loving your neighbor, taking care of the sick, the poor. And I don't know why they weaponize that, right? It doesn't say do it if they have the right paperwork. It doesn't say do it if they're your same skin color. It doesn't say that. It calls for you to be a good person. It calls for you to have a heart. It calls for you to live a life like Christ did. And Christ did nothing but take care of other people, man. He took care of the prostitutes. He took care of the poor. He used people that committed crimes. I mean, dude, what the fuck are we doing? It does piss me off.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate both of you coming up, and especially you, Jeff, because I sent the bat signal and you came up, and I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep it moving forward. I'm gonna go ahead and get into some more debates. I really appreciate both of you.
Thank you, brother.
Guys, really quick, don't leave. Show both of them some love, because both of these guys, not only are they amazing, not only do they know their shit, but they host their own lives. They're on different panels all the time. There's 1.7 thousand of us hanging out here. Can we just really quickly, I dare you, I triple dog dare you to get both of them over 1,000 coins immediately. And also, while you are showing them some love, because we appreciate them so much, make sure you tap the screen, touch their face, and hit that plus button and follow both of them. When I tell you, you will not regret it. I spend time in both of their lives. I appreciate each and every time that I can actually spend any time with them on my platform, me on their platform. Make sure you give them a follow. Make sure you give them some love. I appreciate them. I appreciate you. And chat, if you're someone that believes in anything that I say, anything that I try to bring you, I'm telling you, these two people right here, they don't miss. They do not miss. Joey.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Jeff, I appreciate you both.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you.
W's in the chat for Johnny, who sent the $3 donation to say, W's in the chat for Joe, who sent the $3 donation saying, Johnny called Chewy a racist for simply mentioning the word white. It's not the flex that he think it is. It's not. And you know what's so funny though about Chewy coming up? This is the point that I don't get. Chewy came up and not only gave him facts and information and gave like her actual resume and like show that she actually means the things that she's saying, and laid all of it out flat. And Johnny's premise was, well, I call myself a Christian, while Chewy is literally saying, I dissect religion. And he couldn't deal with it. He's an ultra-crepidarian. That's what he is. When you're faced with facts, when you're faced with someone who actually walks the walk, and all you can do is talk, and you can't even talk the talk, you just talk. The fuck are we doing? W's in the chat for Janelle for the $2 donation saying, this Johnny is always this way. He made fun of Parker. Really? I didn't know that. He made fun of Parker for showing emotion on the other day, and he's no Christian. They're never Christians. They're never Christians because they don't live by what they say they live by at all. W's in the chat, guy. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Guys, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not looking to talk to friendlies. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Lady, are you a Trump supporter? Lady, are you a Trump supporter? All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Jason, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Jason, I want to know to you, is where we are today justified? Because we seem to be dealing with a lot of issues, and whether we talk about, you know, wars and or war crimes, or we talk about Americans starving, we talk about Donald Trump, you know, pardoning a rug dealer while saying that he's strong on rugs. The fact that now we have actual racist maps that are going to be used in our election, or you know, Donald Trump's just a grumpy old man. Are you getting ready to drive?
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking my son up from school, but I'm just driving, about to drive.
All right, I'm gonna have to drop you because you can't drive on TikTok Live. But when you are back, I'll be on for like a while. You can come back and I'll bring you right up. Okay.
All right, sure enough.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
As only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Tim, you said you're a Trump supporter, right?
We are all MAGA.
Are you a troll or do you want to actually debate?
No, I'm here to have a conversation.
Okay, perfect. So
I'm just saying we are all Trump.
Okay, cool. Tim, can you tell me, do you think these things are justified? Do you think your vote is justified with the direction of the country now?
Hell yeah. I support what he's doing.
Okay, what is he doing that you actually support? Be specific.
He's airstriking criminals that are coming into our country illegally and bringing in rugs. He's ended 8 wars. He's lowered prices.
Okay. So let's start with the first thing that you said. He's airstriking criminals that are coming to our country. With those boats that were drone strike, can you tell me which one of them was coming into the country?
All of them.
Okay, so where did they actually drone strike those boats?
They were headed towards North America.
Right, but were they at the ports of the country? Were they in U.S. Waters? Where were they?
I mean, they were coming from Venezuela.
No. I'm not saying where they coming from. I'm saying where were they? Were they in U.S. waters? Were they already at the ports? Where were they?
They were heading towards Florida.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying where were they heading. Where were they when the actual boats were struck? Do you know? If you don't know, it's fine. I can tell you. I'm just trying to...
I know they were very close to our country.
They weren't. That's the point that I was trying to make. They weren't. They were in international waters.
So you're calling Pete Hegseth a liar?
Yes, because literally...
You're not going to call him a liar.
Tim, I don't want to talk from a place of emotion. I don't care what you think. The actual strikes occurred in international waters. Like it's actually something that you can verify. So if the strikes occurred in international water, how are they coming into the U.S.?
They're heading in by boat.
Please engage with what I just said. If they are in international waters, how are they coming into the U.S.?
What do you mean? I just answered it.
You didn't. In order to come into the U.S., do you have to come into U.S. patrolled waters first?
No, they were coming in by water.
Yeah, I get that. That's how boats work. Boats work with water. But what I'm saying is, can they get into the U.S. without coming into U.S. waters?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so if they're coming in by a boat,
because they're smuggling rugs. That's why.
Yeah, sure. Hold on, Tim. Stick with me for a half second. If they're coming into the U.S. and they're coming in by a boat and they have to come into U.S. waters, How do they get into the U.S. without coming through U.S. waters?
Because they're not doing it the legal way.
Sure, but how do they get in without coming through U.S. waters?
They're getting in somehow.
Yeah, sure. How? If you know that? Okay, the U.S. is
by the cartel.
Okay, so are you saying they went to Mexico?
Yeah, they're going to Mexico and then coming to the U.S.
So they weren't in U.S. waters then.
But they were getting to America.
So they were never actually coming into the U.S.
because they found
waters,
5 bags
right?
of rugs in the boats.
They didn't.
They did. It was full of cocaine.
Okay, sure. Stop trying to get kicked. You're literally trying to get kicked. Don't play games. Don't say the names of D-Rugs on TikTok Live. The question I have for you is, where do they actually state that any type of D-Rugs was found?
Pete Hegseth did an investigation and he found.
Can you point me in the I want you to don't, and I know you're about to try to say it because you want to get kicked.
No, I said he found 5 bags.
Okay. Tell me where. Can you give me a source?
I heard it on Frank's Speech.
Who the fuck is Frank's Speech?
I mean, it's a website of news.
Okay, go get that article. Tell me where the title is, and I want to look it up and take a look at it.
Look it up. Frank's Speech.
Yeah.
I don't have
I want you to go grab it. Go grab it for me and tell me what the title is, and I'll look it up. I need you to go get the title.
All right, hold on.
W's in the chat for Michael. Michael sent a $5 donation to say, why is it always fake Christians calling in? This guy is speaking about Jesus and arguing while displaying zero fruits of the Spirit. His language and demeanor proves that he truly does not know Jesus. Exactly. They're always fake Christians. W's in the chat for April for the $5 donation saying, the Bible and Revelation condemns those who cherry pick pick the Bible for their own purposes. Exactly. You're not supposed to actually take nor add to it. W's in the chat for Grace for the $5 donation saying your kindness and genuine patience radiates so strong. I love listening to your debates and the AM. So thankful you came, Johnny. He was a total headache. He was like, it's wild. W's in the chat for Just Alpha. What up, Just Alpha, who sent a $5 super chat to say it's weird. It's weird to me how so-called Christians can take such an issue with female ex female and male ex male schmecks. It doesn't affect your life negatively at all. Like it's weird. It's weird how they actually want to like meat watch. I'll just say that. Like meat watching is weird. It's absolutely weird. W's in the chat for Lady for the $1.99 super chat to say Idiocracy movie in real time with these callers. They don't know things. They don't know things and they're not good. W's in the chat for Roxy for the $1 donation saying Frank's Speech is owned by Mike Lindell. The My Pillow guy? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Yep, if you go to frankspeech.com, you'll find the recent Lindell TV show. And he talks.
So you're giving me a source from Mike Lindell.
What's wrong with him?
When did Mike Lindell become a credible source?
Why? I mean, I don't know what you mean.
When did Mike Lindell become a credible source for information?
Since he backed President Trump.
Okay, give me one thing, because Mike Lindell has been sued and has literally perpetuated the big lie and been proven to actually be a liar. Give me one instance where he has had verifiable proof that has been found to be credible.
The Dominion machines.
It wasn't. Literally, that caused a massive lawsuit. That led to the largest lawsuit in history as far as Fox Entertainment being sued. And Mike Lindell also was a byproduct
Dominion knows that what they did was wrong.
It was literally litigated in a court of law, and Dominion won.
I don't care if they won. Mike Lindell had all the evidence laid out.
If Mike Lindell had all the
He even
evidence,
had a cyber symposium.
so if Mike Lindell had all the evidence laid out, why did the courts rule in favor of?
Because they're all liberal.
All the courts are liberal.
They're all rhinos.
All the courts are rhinos.
Yes.
Why are they rhinos?
Because they didn't want to hear the evidence.
Okay. So, question. Are you saying the Supreme Court is full of rhinos?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Even the actual 3 Supreme Court justices that were appointed by Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Tim, give me a second. I haven't done this in a while, but I think, because I want to keep talking to you, but I think I need a little bit of protection. Is that okay?
I guess. I don't know what you mean, but.
Yep. Just give me a second. I got a double up chat. All right.
I actually worked with Mike Lindell when
I can believe it. I can believe it. Okay.
I did. I was the one supporting him at the cyber symposium.
Yeah, I believe it. I just smacked my head so hard, like now my left ear is stopped up. That was not good. I shouldn't have done that. All right. So why did Donald Trump appoint rhinos to the Supreme Court?
He didn't know at the time.
So he appointed rhinos to the Supreme Court, but he didn't know at the time. So did Donald Trump not vet the Supreme Court justices?
He didn't know that they were traitors.
Okay, so are you saying that he didn't properly vet the people? So Donald Trump, who said that he actually picks all the best people, right? That's what he said. And he picked all 3 of these Supreme Court justices. He fucked up because he didn't properly vet them, and so he didn't pick the best people. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
So Donald Trump is an idiot.
No, he's not. No. Don't you ever call our president an idiot.
Are you an idiot?
Hell no.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
Okay. It's hard being stupid. I understand. It's okay, Tim.
I want you to stop making fun of Trump.
Okay. It's hard being stupid.
You need to stop.
I hear you. So can we get back to what you were saying as far as the Supreme Court justices, right? Can you tell me, you're not funny. You're not funny. I need you to actually lock in for me, bud.
I'm crying right now because you guys are making fun of Trump.
You're not crying. You're not.
I am.
You're not crying. You know how I know you're not crying, Tim? Why'd you mute? Turn on your camera. Let's see the tears. Because if you're crying, I need you to put those tears right here. Put them right in my mug. If you're actually crying, I need you to put them in my mug. I sent you a request to turn on your camera. Turn
on my camera.
Okay, if you're actually crying, I need you to put those MAGA tears in my mugs because they fucking give me life. So either you can stop the BS or you can turn on your camera and we can see. One or the two. Would you like to actually debate? Because like
I'm here to debate.
Okay, then lock the fuck in, bud. Take 2 seconds. I'm gonna read these off, and then I need you to come back with actual information. W's in the chat for Gabriel. Hey Gabriel, who sent a $7 donation saying MAGA Christians take the Lord's name in vain every day. Taking the Lord's name in vain isn't saying, oh my God. It's actually doing things with sinful/evil intent and using the Bible of God to cover their own
And Jesus saved Trump.
W's in the chat for MAGA Christ.
You just moved that bullet.
Who sent a $2 donation to say, are you still doing the No White Men Allowed live tonight? Yes. Yes, we will be back with the No White Men Allowed live. Tim is up here because he was in the chat last night spamming so bad because he wanted to get up. And now he's up here and he's bringing nothing. Surprise, Tim's a mediocre white man. Holy shit. W's in the chat for Janelle for the $1 donation saying, also shout out Chewy because she's 100. She is. W's in the chat for Chewy. And you said, Janelle said, this is why I hate white Christian nationalism because it's an impossibility as Jesus wasn't white. This is coming from a white woman. Exactly. Like that's a whole thing. W's in the chat for Evan, who sent a $1 donation saying, just to call the guest and Trump an idiot. W's in the chat for Evan, who sent a $1 donation to call Tim and Trump an idiot. They are both idiots. W's in the chat for Jacob for the $5 donation to say, as a Christian and used to be MAGA, you, Parker and Dean, opened my eyes to how the MAGA I supported wouldn't have supported Jesus if he was to come this day and this time. I'm ashamed of them and the things they stand for. Thank you so much. You all have opened my eyes. Listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I'm really happy to hear that. Like being able to say that you actually learned something and grew, that's a huge thing. Debbie's in the chat for Eustace, who sent a $5 super chat to say, a person who listens to Mike Lindell as a news source has the same vote as I do is insane. Exactly. Like that's the wild thing. Debbie's in the chat for Jasmine for the $5 super chat to say, Jesse from the other night, Jesse from the other night, or from Jesse from one late night discussion, and those two Johnnies were disingenuous, and the guys were talking to you right now is not engaging, which is crazy AF. Yeah, they're not good at this. Debbie's in the chat for Colin for the $5 Canadians to say Santana drinking MAGA tears like Gary Oldman and Bram Stoker Dracula. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't seen that. But W's in the chat. Thank you so much. Guys, if anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and Linktree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. Guys, if you're here and you look up at the top and you see the word follow, you're not following me. This is the backup account. Make sure you hit that follow button on the backup account, but make sure you follow the main account. We will be on the main account live later, and we are doing a live where no white men who support Donald Trump can come up and debate, and I will have a special guest with me tonight. So make sure you guys come up. Make sure you follow the backup account and make sure you follow the main account. All right, Tim, do you have anything of substance that you would like to add about Donald Trump?
Man.
Sure. What's race?
No white man's live. That is racist.
Sure, Tim, what's race?
It's racist.
Sure, what's race?
It's color of your skin.
It's not. That's not race.
It is.
It's not.
Like Trump is white and I'm white.
Trump is orange, but that's not race.
Is white.
No, Trump is orange.
This is a war. Yeah.
Trump is your Mango Mussolini. He's your Mandarin Messiah.
I love
Cheeto in chief. Trump is orange, and race isn't the color of your skin. Never mind. I don't even care at this point, Tim. You know what? I'm pissed that I waste my foil on that ass hat. I'm literally pissed that I waste my foil on that ass hat. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter and you're actually here for a debate. If you are someone who actually has some sense of substance, if you are actually here to debate, we're only looking for Trump supporters. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter and you are here for a debate. We are not talking to friendlies. If you're a friendly, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things to let the TikTok know that we're in the building. Let's get the likes up to 250,000 likes, guys. Please, please, please. Can we get the likes up to 250,000 likes? Again, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Brian, are you a Trump supporter?
No.
Why'd you request up?
I ain't so cressed up.
Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. Matthew, are you a Trump supporter? Matthew, are you a Trump supporter? Matthew Arnold.
Is that how you managed to figure out that I'm not the movie?
Matthew wasn't there. Matthew wasn't there. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. And MAGA Trump supporters, it's really simple. Super simple. I just want to know, because I'm saying prove me wrong. I don't think anything has been justified at all. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think voting for Donald Trump justifies the fact that there's wars and war crimes occurring right now. Literally right now. Americans are starving. Donald Trump and the Trump administration, they're actively taking food out of the mouths of millions of Americans. And guess what? They're planning to do more of it. They're actively looking to harm Americans by taking food out of their mouths. Donald Trump says that he is, trying to stop D-Rugs from coming into the country, but yet he pardoned a D-Rug kingpin. Claire, you said how? Claire, I'm going to mute you because I'm not going to talk to you from the chat. You can request up and I'll tell you how. Claire, you can get in the box and I can tell you how. I would send you an invite, but you don't have your invites on, so I can't send it to you. Claire, I'm not going to answer the comments. MAGA, why do you guys think that we want to talk to you from the comments? Get in the box. Claire, if you want to know how Donald Trump is actively taking food out of people's mouths, get in the box and I'll explain it to you. Otherwise, you can just stay curious, because I know you're not going to look it up. Like, that's the funny thing. I could literally sit here and make a statement and they can say they disagree, but they'll never fact check it. They'll never take the time to actually go look anything up. But you know why they won't look things up? Because it's easier to be blissfully ignorant than it is to look something up and have to face the reality and the truth. Maybe, Kim, you might be right too. It's so much easier for them to repeat all of the absolutely easily deniable false things that they like to say. It's easier for them to be able to continue to repeat those things than do the hard work and verify their information and find out what they thought is absolutely wrong. Chat, am I wrong? Chat, am I lying? Tell me if I am off. Because if I'm off, I can correct myself. No? Okay. Perfect. That's what I thought. Racist maps. Claire, I see that you swiped. Listen, this is what they always do. I muted Claire in the chat and I said, Claire, request up because I'm not going to talk to you in the chat. And so Claire left the live and came back in thinking that she was going to be able to actually type in the chat again. I muted you for the entire live, Claire. The only way that you're going to be able to comment on my chat again is if you get up here and then I'll unmute you. But I'm not going to let you yip yat in the chat. Ivan, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Ivan, question for you. Was it justified?
What was justified?
Throwing our country to the wolves by supporting Donald Trump and causing so many harmful things like wars and war crimes, Americans starving, him pardoning drug dealers, racist maps that are now being implemented, and now we got a grumpy old man at the head of our country. Do you think those things are justified?
Racist minor attractive persons.
What?
Is that what you mean by maps? What do you mean by maps?
Did you say racist minor trap? I don't know. Racist maps. The Supreme Court ruled that the actual gerrymandered map in Texas specifically that is overwhelmingly racist, right? I mean, the lower courts deemed it to be racist because it shifts the actual vote and gives less representation to Black people, even less representation that was already in place. And now Texas has more representation for white people than Black people. Ivan, you have to come back into the app in order for me to hear you say anything. Ivan, if you are out of the app, I can't hear you. Oh, he was running. Oh, I thought that he was trying to Google something. I thought he was looking up what I was telling him. He was running. I had that one fucked up. That one's on me. That was, you know what? That was me actually thinking that, he was going to try to find information. I fucked up. I fucked up. That was me. W's in the chat for Tip, who sent a $5 donation saying, no white man live is effing hilarious. I bet all these mediocre white men lose their minds over that. I'm a white man. I can't stand them either. Love what you do, brother. W's in the chat. Thank you so much. And also follow up with a $5 donation saying it's called willful ignorance. They don't want to know the truth because it wouldn't justify their bigotry and their beliefs. Exactly. If the W's in the chat for Tip, if anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. W's in the chat for Colin for the $5 Canadian and say Santana drinks MAGA. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. Yeah. So the actual live that I had last night, and I'm going to be doing again this evening. The point is that MAGA doesn't serve anyone except white men, right? If you are not a white man and you support MAGA, then you're fucking up. And so my premise is I want to talk to any and every Trump supporter that is not a white man. But if you're a white man, you don't get access to my platform when I'm having these debates. And it drove them insane. They were like crashing out. It was fucking wild. Bella, are you a Trump supporter?
I just want to say I donated like $300 to Matt's thing, and I love you. So
who's Matt? What are you talking about?
The person who is.
You mean Brett?
Surgery? Oh, Brett.
Brett.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was about to say,
Sorry.
who's Matt? I was going to say, don't just send your money to random people. Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And
I love you so much, and you're such like a legend. Love you.
Thank you. I was so confused, Chad. I was about to say, Matt. Who is Matt? I didn't co-sign a Matt. Fucking TikTok. So the point of the live is understanding that in order for the actual what's that, Mac nuclear? In order to for the Democratic Party to regain any type of power, it's going to take us reestablishing a coalition. And the people that are on the right that actually still support Donald Trump and support MAGA, there's literally nothing that party is providing for them. And so I don't understand why they still support him. So what I did is I reached out to some of my white creator friends and I said, hey, do you guys want to co-host this with me? So last night it was David. Tonight there will be another white man debater that will be joining me, and I'm going to be doing this throughout the week. And we will be debating any and everyone that is a Trump supporter that is not a white man. And they kept coming up last night. They they were coming up. They were crashing out. I kept kicking them. There was this one guy who would not stop requesting up. Like literally, he would not stop requesting up. He kept saying, debate me, debate me, debate me. And the whole thing about that, right, is that I said, hey, what's your race? He's like, I'm Mexican. I was like, Mexican isn't a race. He's like, yeah, but I'm not white. I'm like, yeah, you can be a white Mexican. He said, yeah, but I'm Mexican. I'm not white. I said, yeah, you can be a white Mexican. You can be a black Mexican. I said, turn your camera on. Chat. He turned his camera on. And he was a whole ass white man. So I kicked him. When is the live? This evening. That's the best answer I got for you. I'm gonna have that this evening. I gotta set the time. The best way to actually know when I do so is to make sure you're following me over on YouTube and turn on the notifications, because I set up like once I designate the time, I set up the actual like thing to go out, and then it actually sends the alerts. So yeah. Again, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are a Trump, I'm a vanilla Mexican. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Jimmy through Trump, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. Jason, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Is your kid safe?
Yes.
Good to hear. All right, Jason. Was it worth it?
I believe so. Now, I'll admit that I don't agree with all of his policies, but the parts that I don't agree with is very mute. A few things that I would like to mention is I started watching your live actually on YouTube, which
Really?
I had to search you out on the same topic and everything. So I wanted to search you out because what you were saying was very interesting. The lady that was talking, and it was about Jesus and everything.
Chewy. Yeah. W's in the chat for Chewy.
So several things on what she was saying was true, but then there's a few things that people have different opinions on, which I respect.
Hit me. Or is that what you wanted to talk about, or something else?
Well, so we could talk about on the subject that you're talking about right now, but I just want to mention, yes, Jesus was not white, but the Romans were. And even though that race or ethnicity, I call it ethnicity because race is a very loose wording.
What do you mean loose wording?
Ethnicity actually expresses different relations within the same skin color, but also different skin colors.
Yeah.
So-
What do you mean? No, I wasn't talking about ethnicity. You said that race has a loose definition. What do you mean by that?
Well, like a lot of people, they throw out, well, I'm white. Like you were just actually having a little talk about the white Mexican. Mm-hmm. Well, because there's Mexicans that they have lighter skin. Then there's Mexicans that are really dark.
Mm-hmm. White passing Mexican versus black Mexicans. Yeah.
Of course. Then there's like I was in the Army for 6.5 years, and I went to the Middle East during 2010. Mm-hmm. So over there's light skin, and then there's really dark skin. Mm-hmm. Depending on where they're located, and going down into northern Africa, which was used to be not called Africa but Ethiopia, which is actually spoke within the.
Wait, hold on. You said used to be called Ethiopia?
Yeah.
What do you mean used to be called Ethiopia? Ethiopia still exists.
Yes, Ethiopia. The word Ethiopia exists, but Ethiopia actually was a lot larger.
Oh yeah, you mean when Ethiopia and Eritrea were one? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, correct.
Okay, then why wouldn't you just call it Eritrea?
Well, why do they want to call the entire continent of Africa?
I'm just trying to understand why. Like you it sounded like you said that for a specific reason.
Well, it became like a norm. Like a lot of changes happen when people stop saying certain words, and then it becomes a norm. And then when maps, they come together, then all of a sudden it changes. Like if you go back into 16th century maps and everything from ships, they actually have totally different names. So, of course, some of them with Spain, France, England, those were the main shippers, except for the pirates. But the descriptions of the names like here in the U.S., we just call it like Arkansas, North Carolina, Texas, California. Over there, now they don't necessarily say Ghana, Nigeria, Congo.
Literally do.
Places like that. Well, they don't necessarily say it outside of that country.
They say literally do.
Not excessively. Like they say,
absolutely
this Africa or this province within Africa.
No. Hey, quick question. Do you know what this is?
I've seen that pendant before.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. It's a Orthodox Ethiopian cross. My wife is Ethiopian. Like one of my favorite people on this app that I engage with all the time, Kobe, she's Eritrean. Like I engage and interact with people from the actual continent of Africa on a daily basis who not only are come from Africa, but like literally are recently from Africa, I guess the best way to put it. But what you're saying is absolutely incorrect. Like absolutely incorrect. And also one other thing I want to call out, you said the Romans were white. No, that's incorrect as well. Like Romans weren't white. The actual premise, and you can look this up, this is even verified by biblical scholars. While they were characterized by certain, I guess you can call it stories as, being white, they were located in an area of Africa, the Middle East, even where the Mediterranean was located. And those people were black and brown. So no, they weren't white.
Well, that is contrary to when the Romans were pushed out of Rome. They were pushed northern, and this goes through stories that are told even in northern Africa and also in the Middle East. When they were pushed out of Rome, Egypt, Jerusalem, they were pushed north. When they were pushed north, what is north? England, or what is called now England.
No. You misunderstand, because the areas in the Middle East, they're on the African continent, but there's a whole contentious point of view where you talk about like Egypt and all of that, and them not saying that they're African when they really are. But that's where the contentious premise as far as like, oh, are we African or not?
Well, Egypt, let's see, Egypt, even though that it's on the African side of what we call Africa right now, Egypt, Jerusalem, the other one just escaped my mind right now, but they were not back then. They were not considered in Ethiopia or what is called Africa. Like
they literally were. What are you talking about?
Like that's literally what the history of the Egyptians, how they took the land and divided it out. They actually,
Egypt is on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
What up, Schmidt?
What is considered Africa right now?
No, not what is considered Africa right now. It's Africa. It's literally Africa. And again, the contentiousness comes in is them trying to separate themselves and say they're not African, even though they're on the continent of Africa.
Of course, they're on the continent of Africa. What is considered Africa?
It's an African country.
But
the
during
comes in as far as them trying to separate themselves.
But during the Moses era, even Jesus era, it was not like that.
So did it move off the continent of Africa during that time, or help me understand like what happened?
No, just like what you were discussing earlier, or slightly earlier, about gerrymandering borders and other things like that, or moving things around. That was constantly in fluctuation from war to war.
Who gerrymandered Africa?
Let's see. I know that
I'll give you a hint. Like they literally met and they divided up the continent of Africa.
France.
Nope, it wasn't just France.
Well,
someone in the
France
chat just
also,
gave it to you. As a matter of fact, I want you to go look it up. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to read a couple of things off. Go check that out. Go see who actually divided up the continent of Africa, because it's a whole thing. All right. Let's see here. Sorry. W's in the chat. Sorry, get back here. W's in the chat for Joe for the $3 donation, saying, I'm wondering what part of Rome the guest thinks was white in the time of Jesus. The Latin speaking olive skin Greco-Roman, the Middle Eastern like Jesus of Nazareth, the North African Romans. Which one was white? The answer is none of them. W's in the chat for Maya, who sent a $5 donation to say, kind of pale in the winter. Mexican here. First gen with dual citizenship. A lot of us do identify as Mexican because of our indigenous heritage was stripped away from us. Let's not forget the border crossed us. Exactly. Yeah. And we understand like the nationality, and even more so like the thing that we haven't even gotten to is like the fact that race is a social construct. All right. And the premise behind that is it's based on for phenotypical characteristics, and you know it was created by Gomez de Zurara, and like it's a whole thing. But just to break it down, like your nationality is different than your ethnicity, that's different than your race. And so there's that. Guys, W's in the chat. If anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, tap the screen. Sorry. Look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Go ahead and hit that follow button. This is the backup account. We're on the backup account. Make sure you follow the backup account, but follow the main account. We're going to be on the main account later. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. Jason, every once in a while, you got to come back into the screen in order to not be kicked off of TikTok. So just come back in for a second and then you can keep looking up your information. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Hi, Angel, are you a Trump supporter? Angel, are you a Trump supporter? I guess that's a no. Jason, come back into the screen just for a moment, because if you don't, you're going to get kicked out of the app. All right.
Okay, I'm here.
Were you able to find the Berlin conference? Oh, okay, good. You're still looking. All right. If there are any other Trump supporters that would like to get up here,
I really would like to actually read the Berlin, because yes, it's Germany, Italy, France, and it does speak of
dividing up the continent of Africa.
Others. Yep. But it also speaks of France owning a large portion of Africa, including Egypt. During
the colonization of the
before the
continent
colonization
of Africa,
of the United States.
Yeah, the colonization of the continent of Africa by white Europeans has been an absolute thing. Like they literally not only colonized the continent, but it has actively stripped away their resources, which is a thing as of today. We can talk about the actual oppression and genocides that are happening across the board in places like Sudan, Congo, Eritrea, like all of these different things. And the premise behind the colonization for Europeans and continue to like use these people for not only their natural resources, but just for the land. And it's so much more to it. But what I'm trying to say is on the continent of Africa, you can actually talk about like, Egypt or whatever. Like my point being that it was there. And then when you talk about the divide of the continent of Africa, it was due to the Berlin Conference.
Yes, it was due to that, but Egypt was not like when you go back even further than that, that's what I'm talking about. When you go back further before France started just taking over northern Africa, heading further down before any of that. I'm talking like during the 1500s, 1600s, like the Berlin, that was during the mid to late 1800s, from what I read. So you're right that Egypt has been part of Africa for a very long time, several hundreds of years. But during Jesus, like during his time of life, his 32 years of life, like him traveling and everything, like there were point of entrances between different countries, between Jerusalem, Nazareth, and Egypt.
So are you trying to get to the point of saying that Jesus used port of entrances when traveling from country to country?
Well, they had to.
No, you didn't.
You actually literally had to, like, just like in during certain times of conflicts, during like Germany time, like people had to follow points of entry going from one place to another place. Even early Mesopotamian area of England, they had to go through certain checkpoints because if they were found past a checkpoint, they could either lose their lives or thrown in prison or pay a fine. So during Jesus's time, they had to go through certain checkpoints.
Where did you find this information?
Well, you have to look up into the early laws of Egypt.
Sure. Can you tell me where you find this information?
I don't have that information in front of me or anything else like that, but that's what the rules were.
Sure. Take a second. I would really love to actually see that. W's in the chat for Libby, who sent a $10 donation saying, as far as the Berlin conference, my great grandfather had to work as a soldier for Italy. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. W's in the chat for Libby for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. I could only imagine. Guys, pay links and Linktree in bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. If you are over on YouTube, make sure you like the stream. We should have more likes than we have. We should have at least the same amount of likes as we have people watching the stream. So make sure you hit that button over on the tube to ensure that we are getting we have the likes equivalent. Request up if you're a Trump supporter. Like, I know we're sitting here talking about the Bible book and like it's a whole thing, but now we're finally getting to the premise of the actual debate, which is Jesus apparently went through port of entries when crossing into the country. So, yeah. What do you think, chat? I'm going to say no. Maybe I'm tripping, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Jesus wasn't worried about, while I do think that there's a possibility that he could have went through certain areas where, it's known, I'm going to bet, Jesus wasn't too worried about coming into the country the right way. Yeah. Jesus would have hated MAGA. Don't forget, like, Jesus flipped over tables in the temple and everything. So, sorry, texting the wife. Give me a second, guys. I'll tell her. Chat, do you guys want me to tell her that you all said hi? I'm texting her right now. You want me to tell her that you guys said hi? Yeah? Okay, hold on. Okay, I told her she said hi. I mean, I told her that you guys said hi. W's in the chat for Gerard. Gerard sent a $5 donation to say biblical Egypt did have ports of entry to control trade and prevent incursions, but not for immigration. His family fled there because it was not occupied by Rome. Exactly. W's in the chat for Gerard. Gerard, you have to come back into the app. Make sure you swipe back into the app before, so you don't get kicked out. Did you hear, you can keep looking for the information, but I mean, like, we can continue to talk about the premise that Jesus Jesus went through ports of entry, and so immigrants should go through ports of entry. Like, it's a large fallacy. Like, were you able to find anything that verifies that?
Well, it does not necessarily say that there was any points of entry, but there were mentions of, like, what you were just saying, that the other gentleman found that there for trade.
For trade
now
and incursions, yeah.
They were not necessarily seeking asylum or refugee or anything else like that. It was because they were not approaching anyone from the country that they were running to, because
wait, would you consider Mary and Joseph seeking, like, asylum when they were literally going from, place to place looking for somewhere to stay?
Well, that was during Jesus's birth. They were not looking for refugee. They were looking for
a safe place to stay while they were trying to deliver the Messiah, right?
Yeah, it was during a holiday, and all the areas to rent or stay at for a temporary time was full. That's why they went to the
right. But they were travelers looking for a safe place to stay, right?
Correct, but that's not as a refugee.
Did they live in that area?
No, they were visiting a location. Plus, that's before.
Okay, so they didn't live in that area, right? So, okay, cool. Check the parallel. Parallel.
King Herod was trying to.
They didn't live in that area. They were looking for a safe place to stay, and they were going from area to area. I mean, sounds like a refugee to me.
That's going from area to area within the same town, not within a large span of distance. That was during.
How far do you think that people could travel back in biblical times?
Oh, they probably traveled between 80 to 100 miles, and it took a long time.
Okay, yeah. So it took days, months, years to travel certain distances.
Yeah,
would
correct.
you say, let's say, for example, that 100 miles, would you think that that's like in biblical times, that would have been a massive, large, like, travel?
Yeah, several days, if not more than a week.
Okay. So putting this in perspective, you can travel 100 miles within most U.S. states and still be within the actual state, right?
Correct.
So if within that time they were traveling, and let's say they had to travel 100 miles, would that not have been a massive trip that would categorize them as being a refugee for that time?
Well, I think you're kind of mixing two different things up, because during when they were trying to find a place to stay, that's when Mary was about to give birth. They were on their way to either a festival or to I don't remember exactly what
I don't know.
But they were on their
whatever, but you cut out.
Yeah, I got a phone call or alarm actually. my daughter is about to get off school. So, so there were two different events. One event is when Jesus was not born yet. That's when they were trying to find a place to stay, and they could not find a place to stay. So then they stayed in the manger, and she gave birth to Jesus. And then the three wise men, they came, and then they left, and they went to the king. And then the king, he said, "Oh, great, yay!" But then that's when they had to leave Jesus being born, and Mary. They had to leave after that event because King Herod, I think his name, he was trying to end Jesus's life because he was supposed to become the king or over all the people. That's what his entire fear was. So when they left, they went back to where they lived.
So they were also in fear of Mary's life being ended. Is that what you're saying?
Jesus' life. It wasn't talking about Mary.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesus.
Joseph.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Would that be a credible threat on Jesus' life?
Correct. That's why they got up and they left.
Sure.
But they weren't leaving.
In order to actually be a refugee, to seek asylum, what's the thing that you have to prove?
That your life is in danger.
Okay. Just making sure. Keep going.
Now, they didn't go to any ruler or king to inform them that their life was in danger. They weren't asking for permission or anything. They weren't going there also illegally. They went there, she gave birth, and then they left. They went back to where they came from. Now, when Jesus became of a certain age, they started another trip because it was a law back then that all children around a certain age had to be I'm not for sure if it was by their state or their form of government, or if it was the Jewish law or rule for Jesus to go to this other place. That was the next long trip. That's when Jesus was like between 5 to 8 years old during that time frame, and Jesus it goes into the story within the scriptures that Mary and Joseph, they lost sight of Jesus, and Jesus was found in the temple teaching the priests and everything.
Yeah. And let me read this. That was in the chat for Gerard for the $5 donation saying, "Bullshit, guess. I literally have a master's in this." Christ's family was fleeing Egypt due to Roman and King Herod's ordinance to kill firstborn because of the threat of the Messiah, which you just said. W's in the chat for Gerard.
I just said that. That was after the fact of Jesus being born.
The point that I'm trying to make, right, is that he wasn't being. You haven't been able to give me any type of justification saying that they went through these quote unquote port of entries, but literally the premise behind Jesus and what you're saying, they're literally asylum seekers, and it went right over your head. And like at this point, I'm just saying, like you're not understanding the story.
They were not seeking asylum.
They were looking for a safe place because of a credible threat on Jesus' life. Just because they didn't use the word asylum. It's literally them seeking a safe place with a credible threat on Jesus' life.
Okay, I'm not denying that they were seeking a safe place.
And they were traveling to a different land. They were literally asylum seekers. W's in the chat for me, and W's in the chat for Gerard. All right, let's fast forward this because I feel like we've kind of been slow walking in, and I want to kind of get to a different place of understanding.
Yeah, we can go to any other discussion that you want, but
I want to go here. Why do you think that the Republican Party actually upholds any form of Christianity, because they literally, not only did they elect a person who is very much not a Christian in any way, shape, or form, but they don't uphold the Christian principles at all.
Can I ask you, even though that Donald Trump has done some pretty like cheating on his wife or his second wife or whatever else like that, so how would you consider him not a Christian? Just because he cheated, but there's a lot of people that cheat.
Donald Trump said he's not a Christian.
Well, Donald Trump has, from what I've seen on online and also even in person a few times, he's very much Christian.
Donald Trump, out of his own mouth, said he's not a Christian. Donald Trump has also said that he's never repented. How are you a Christian?
When did he say that?
Christian? In an interview, he said that he's never repented. They asked about his sin. They were talking about his favorite favorite chapter or Bible verse or whatever. And they said they try to broaden it out to like, what's his favorite book? And he said 2 Corinthians. But that was the interview where he's talking about, never asking God for forgiveness. So he's never repented. But then even more so in this past election cycle, when he was out and he was talking to a group of Christians, I can't remember what event it was. He was telling them, he said, "I love you, Christians. Get out and vote. We just need your vote this one time. I love you, Christians. I'm not a Christian, but I love you."
I did not hear him say, "I am not a Christian." So that is new to me, because I have seen multiple things and also met his daughter, Ivanka, and been to a few of his Trump's rallies during his first election. And every single one of those, he's declared that he was Christian. Him going to church, he's been to actually several different churches. Even before he ran for president, there's him going to church. And speaking at church is very important.
Sure. Give me 1 second.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't.
How do you feel about that?
I'm surprised, because I've never seen that.
Yeah. This was at.
I'm gonna have to.
This was a turning point, Turning Point Action. This is at Turning Point Action on August the 27th, 2024. Openly admitting he's not a Christian.
Well, I'm going to definitely have to look into that part, because I've always heard by multiple accounts, even live accounts with him.
You're muted again.
With him being on CNN or several different news agencies. Yes, Fox also. I like watching all of them. I like seeing both sides. So I watch CNN, Fox News, and NBC or what's the NBC? But it's longer. Well, whatever. But I watch all the different type of newses, but that's the first time that I've actually heard that. So I'm going to definitely thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Yeah. Also, let's see. Hold on.
Yes, MSNBC. There we go.
Give me a second here. Let me see, because this is a little bit longer, but hold on. Let me see if I can find a better sound audio of this. But this is This is him talking about how he's never asked for forgiveness. 1 second.
I got to look that one up too, because there's been several things where he says that. I heard one where he says that he has worries and concerns for his souls because of the sins that he's done in his life, and he prays for forgiveness.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Let me ask you, one of the potential attack lines has to do with an answer you gave to Frank Luntz months ago when you said that you've never asked God for forgiveness.
Hold on, that's not the one. That's him responding to it. Oh, here.
Positive thinking, which is great. But have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. Don't bring God into the picture. No.
All right. So his premise was he never asks for forgiveness. He just tries to make the things right. He doesn't bring God into it. That doesn't sound like a Christian at all to me, because I mean, like a Christian, their premise is putting their religion at the forefront of everything that they do, trying to live by the word of red letter Jesus in the Bible. And when you talk about, repentance, that's the bedrock of Christianity. And there's Donald Trump saying that he doesn't engage in that at all.
Well, from that comment, what I would, because I saw that one, what they were talking about prior to that little clip, which I heard that you got that from a clip from another guy, and he's kind of doing a downer on it. But
yeah, I was trying to find the clearer video quicker, and I couldn't. So yeah.
I always say you gotta listen to the video at least 15-20 seconds before and 15-20 seconds after to hear the full clip. So then it's not a confusion like the whole thing.
I didn't want to play the whole thing. I was trying to be more concise, but let's do it. Let's do just that. How about that? 1 second.
Yeah, a lot of people, like for the January 6th thing, they were throwing out there what the BBC did and put out. But now the full clip is out, and he never said anything like that. And then I remember another clip. He was in.
Hold on. Let's just listen to this real quick.
Okay.
Use the word Christian. Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out. I'm Protestant. I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church, and I love God, and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. The power of positive thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman, and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. The power of positive thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman Vincent Peale. He was so great. He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right? Even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real life situations, modern day situations, into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, he passed away, but he was a great. He wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book. But have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't.
So, while saying that he was religious, while saying that he was a Protestant, he openly admitted that he said that he goes to church.
Yeah.
But openly admitted that the bedrock foundation of Christianity, which is repentance, right? The only way that you can get into heaven is through Jesus, right? And in order to do so, you have to confess that you believe, Jesus is the Son of God, and you have to repent for your sins and da 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 da. And he's sitting here saying that he hasn't done that. So how can you be a follower of Christ? How can you be a Christian if you have not participated in the bedrock fundamental principles of being a Christian?
So, well, first of all, I acknowledge what you're saying. I can understand definitely that. I'm not trying to sidestep it. I will say that it was a little disingenuous, not on you, but on the I call it cookie cutting, a connection like what the BBC did. But they that right there, they cut off where he says that he's a Christian, that he's Protestant. So he is Christian. He is Protestant. He has gone to church.
He's not a Christian.
But he did say that he was.
Yeah, and I can say that I'm a NBA player. That doesn't mean that it's true. How do you judge Christians?
So how
does
judge
the Bible say, not you specifically, how does the Bible say you judge Christians?
Well, how you as your character, or how you present yourself, how you act towards others
by your fruits,
right? By yes, the positive fruits of your labor, but also telling the truth. Sometimes being blunt. Okay. Sometimes truth hurts.
Right. So if Donald Trump is told over 30,000 confirmed lies in his first term, if Donald Trump has openly throughout his life been racist, sexist, classist, if Donald Trump has cheated on his first wife with his second wife with his third wife with a corn star, if Donald Trump has openly called for the unalivement of Democratic Congress members, if Donald Trump has threatened to keep away food from the hungry, even as recently as last week, where his head of agriculture said that they plan on withholding SNAP benefits from blue states. If Donald Trump has openly harmed so many people in so many ways, while at the same time saying that he has never asked for forgiveness, he has never repented, and even at one point saying he's not a Christian, so therefore he is not claiming Christ, do you think that him saying, I'm a Protestant and I go to church, outweighs all of those other things?
Well, some of those things that you're talking about, I feel, not necessarily a Trump believer or anything else like that. I don't worship the guy. The guy has done wrong. He's a sinner, just like you.
You're muted.
Sorry. So I'll repeat. So Donald Trump, he's a sinner, just like you and me. Like he's not perfect. He's done a lot of wrongs. I've done a lot of wrongs. I've asked God, Jesus, to forgive me of my wrongs, and I can have faith towards forgiveness for those wrongs, but also because of my self-feeling, do I absolutely 100% know that I am forgiven for those wrongs? No, I don't.
But you still ask for forgiveness, right?
Exactly.
And that's the point.
So I move forward with that. Now, several of the things that you mentioned, even the last thing, because you went through 10 or 12, maybe even more.
When I tell you, I gave you the Sparks Note version, like there's way more. I didn't even talk about him being a fascist.
Well, the word fascist is a very interesting word, and it's thrown out there just like racism and several other sexism and several other things.
I don't use words that I don't know, and I don't say things I can't prove. And when I say Donald Trump is a fascist, I mean it. And not only do I mean it by the actual definition of what fascism is, but I mean it by his actions, and I can prove each and every action. I can prove that Donald Trump not only meets the 9 principles, core principles of fascism, but he also has exhibited all 14 tenets of fascism, which in order to be considered a fascist, you have to, it's widely acceptable for you to meet 9 of the 14 principles of fascism. But if you meet all 14, then you're a fascist. Also, fun fact, there are different organizations around the world who are currently documenting Donald Trump's actions, and they are tracking him as being a fascist, and they're recording it for world history because they don't think the United States is actually going to track this information because of this administration. Donald Trump is a fascist, and I can prove
from your description on. Sorry for interrupting. From your description on what you consider as these 14 parts of fascists, you said at least you said at least 9 of them. He matches up, or maybe
no, he meets all 14. I said that it's widely accepted that if you meet 9 of the core principles of fascism, then you're a fascist. I'm telling you, Donald Trump meets all 14 tenets.
Could you break that down for me on what consists? Because I've looked up the word fascist, but some people they say fascist is one thing, and I'm saying fascist as one other thing. But if you can actually break down the 14 things, then that would actually educate me. So please.
Yeah, I can run through it. Really quick. W's in the chat for Gerard for the $5 donation saying, I mean, Trump being non-Christian fits in more with the modern day American Christianity as they're not Christians. Conventional Christianity is disingenuous for nationalistic, the xenophobic bigots. Yeah. W's in the chat for Diamond for the $2 donation saying, if by his fruits you mean Trump's a bad apple. Trump is a bad apple. W's in the chat for the donors, guys. If anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right. So first and foremost, the definition of fascism. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist.
Real quick, I'm going to go on mute, but I'm going to continue listening.
Yep. Is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocrat, militarism, forcible suppression of opponents, and strong regiment of society and the economy. Right. So that is fascism. Right. And the 14 tenets of fascism, we'll run through all 14 and then we'll run through how Donald Trump meets each and every one. So starting with the first one, powerful and continuing nationalism. Fascist regimes tend to make consistent use of patriotic mottos, slogans, symbols, songs, and other paraphernalias. Flags are seen everywhere, and flags are symbols on clothing and public displays. Donald Trump absolutely used the Make America Great flag, which was not prior to Donald Trump. Most politicians didn't actually create flags, but not only do we talk about the overwhelming amount of signage, we can talk about the motto of Make America Great Again. We can talk about the golden deities that the golden deities that Trump followers have created. We can talk about literally people getting his name tattooed on their forehead. We can talk about the just constant following the clothes, the merchandise, the songs. There's multiple songs praising Donald Trump and MAGA. And this is examples of powerful and continuing nationalism. Any questions about that before I move on to the next one?
Well, I don't condone any of that. I do not believe that any form of worshiping or anything else like that, especially like tattooing, that's just moronic.
Yeah, there's a girl. She got Trump tattooed across her forehead.
I don't know.
Literally across her
I don't know
forehead.
if I can really say stupid, but that is stupid.
Yeah,
that is really stupid. Now, because of other people's actions, I don't. Them doing the songs, them doing the flags, and like bumper stickers or whatever else like that. I've even bought a couple bumper stickers.
but that's also because the Trump administration and the Trump campaign actually create, peddle, and push those things. Donald Trump, even right now, as we speak, is selling Trump 2028 hats.
Well,
Donald Trump literally signed flags as well. So crossing the United States flag with the Trump brand.
Say that. Hold up. Say that one more time, because I've not seen that one.
Yes, Donald Trump has signed American flags. Anyway, there's 14 tenants. If we linger too long, it's going to take forever.
Wow,
let's move on to the next
I will have to look under that. Like, I know that Donald Trump has signed United States flags. I know that he signed other flags, miniature flags, even Trump flags, and also hats and whatever else like that. Mm-hmm. I get that. I don't condone any form of worshiping the guy. Mm-hmm. Like if people are following following him like they are to worship him like a king, or like Jesus is to be worshipped, then those people are wrong. They are completely wrong. So I definitely don't condone that. If he's supporting that, then I don't condone that either.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Let's keep moving, shall we? Okay. So the next one is, let me get back here. Disdain for the recognition of human rights. Because of the fear of enemies and the need for security, the people of fascist regime are often persuaded that human rights can be ignored. In certain cases, because of the need, the people tend to look the other way, or even approve of torture, summary execution, assassinations, long incarcerations, or of prisoners. So pretty simple. The actual issues that are occurring with the undocumented immigrants, the treatment by ICE, the massive ICE raids, the long detention times of undocumented immigrants, the concentration camps that they're putting in, including Alligator Alcatraz, CCOT, and then even more so, the United States of America is now on a human rights watch list because of Donald Trump's treatment towards undocumented immigrants, while at the same time saying that undocumented immigrants has poisoned the blood of America and called them vermin. And called them vermin.
Well, I have a disagree form with that second part because a lot of people they get things mixed up between there's a right and then there's a privilege. Like SNAP is a privilege. It's not a right. Like, yes, food is also a right, but it also is a privilege. Should a government help its people? Yes.
Yeah, should a government help? What does that have to do, though, with the way that Donald Trump is showing disdain for human rights? That's what we're talking about. That's the point that we're talking about, is the Donald Trump and the Trump administration, their open, adamant, and persistent disdain for human rights.
Well, what do you mean on a disdain for human rights? Because I'm not seeing any disdain on human rights. I just told you with the treatment of undocumented immigrants. Well, undocumented immigrants, when it's not Trump's fault or any of our fault, are they human? Really. Yes, they're human. Okay, but are they actually? Is this Trump administration
currently imprisoning undocumented immigrants, forcing them into 2x2 foot cells, deporting them to countries that they didn't come from, and sending them to foreign countries where they're putting them in prison for free slave labor, where they're being beaten, such as Kilmar Alberto Garcia, who has openly been documented to have been beaten, tortured, made to stand for long periods of times. And if he falls, then he's beaten. Like, is that not a disdain for human rights?
Well, I don't agree with human beings treated like that unless they're criminals. And then criminals, they need to not be treated like that either, but they should either be in prison, or if they take human lives, then their life should be forfeit as well.
The point that I'm trying to make is that Donald Trump has openly actually, I'm not trying to get into the morality of it, but like Donald Trump has actively harmed and infringed on human rights, and even called for public executions and not just of criminals, but literally call for the execution of his political enemies. So like there's that. Let's move on to the next one because we still got 12 more to go.
I've heard about the call on ending the lives of his political opponents, but that's I've never seen that. I've never seen it or even heard any of the that form of speech in video or audio. Now I have heard it
out
from
on Truth Social. There's no video or audio. He put it out on Truth Social. He actually truthed it or whatever. I call it a tweet, but he typed it and put it out on his social media platform.
Okay, I'll look that up as well. Yep. But I've like heard verbally and seen the videos of certain persons, all of them being on the left Democrat side, that has called for people to take the lives or get in the face, to say you're not welcome here. Like that. As,
you're talking about the quote from Maxine Waters. Like I'm not trying to actually litigate that or go through it at the moment. We're just going through the 14.
There's a lot of them,
right, and we can talk about that afterwards. But you wanted to know the 14 tenets, and I'm showing you how Donald Trump meets all 14. So the next one is identification of enemies / scapegoats as a unifying cause. The people are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe, racial, ethnic, or religious minorities, liberals, communists, socialists, terrorists, etc. Donald Trump has done this in multiple ways. You can talk about the actual constant attack on the transgender community, where Donald Trump spent $215 million in his campaign to target transgender people who represent less than 1% of the population, to make them a boogeyman, while at the same time signing executive orders to strip away their rights and even access to work and provide for themselves in the military. You can talk about Donald Trump's persistent and consistent push to have a Muslim ban put in place, specifically targeting people coming from specific countries that are Muslim. And you can also talk about Donald Trump and his overwhelming constant message calling people socialists and communists. He called Bernie Sanders a communist. He called Kamala Harris a communist. And even most recently, he called Zoran Mandani a communist. And all of this is a rallying cry for his base, while he talks about how we have to win this country. If we're not, it's going to become a communist country.
Well, I've heard of a few people throwing out communists out there. I've heard like Bernie Sanders is definitely a socialist. AOC is definitely a socialist.
Zoran Mandani is a socialist as well.
Correct. Now, socialism and communism, they've usually been tried and notably worked hand in hand in other countries. Some of them do okay.
You have to go through socialism to get to communism. There's no country that has ever successfully implemented communism.
Well, there's one country, but I think that's like Norway or something like that.
No, Norway is not a communist country.
Okay. But when it comes to like him calling certain Democrats, because the far left, with communist or socialist, it's not necessarily like, I think the Democrats' actions and words prove their point. But
the point of me bringing that up is that Donald Trump is using this as a rallying call to his base to say that we need to unite against these people. Do you disagree with that?
I don't disagree with rallying against, because I'm going to talk about the transgender and also the communist
transgender people.
Yes, transgender. So
transgender people.
Yes, transgender people. So I'm not necessarily talking against them. It's certain actions. Like, I'm not talking against like necessarily the individuals that are liberals and Democrats. I'm talking about their actions, their words, how they present themselves and how they put themselves out there. And both with the transgender people and also
listen. I need you to focus in on this. Do you think that Donald Trump is or is not specifically picking different groups and using the need to either push back or offset that group? Is he using that as a rallying cry? Yes or no?
I don't believe he's using it for a rallying cry.
Okay,
but
so what does it mean when he tells?
Believe that I do
What does it mean when he tells
back
people?
Against certain
What does it mean
groups.
when he tells people that we have to get out and vote and we have to win, because if we don't, our country is going to become a communist country?
Because that is one of the biggest fears that
is that not a rallying cry?
It is a form of rallying cry. Correct.
Is he specifically saying that the enemy is communist?
The enemy is communism and and socialism.
Are there any known political figures that have said I'm a communist?
Other than
or better yet, but I'll give you the one specifically.
Bernie Sanders.
I'll give you the ones that he specifically named. He named Bernie Sanders. He said Kamala Harris, and he said Zoran Mandani. Are any one of those three, are they communists?
I believe so. And AOC.
What is communism?
Communism is where the government is more of control over the people. It's the government tells them,
Jason, no,
like we are going to take from you and give to them.
Jason, no. Communism is a stateless, classless, systemless, moneyless society. There's no government in communism. And if there is need for a form of government representation to work with other nations or society, there's a temporary governmental structure put in place for said representation and leadership. And as soon as whatever decision is made, it is automatically dissolved. This has nothing to do with taking. In a communist society, everyone shares in the actual means, the protection, all of those things. So, like, no, that's not communism. It's like literally you people on the right have been propagandized, and it's a boogeyman. Like, you guys don't know what communism is, just like you guys don't really know transgender people. And this is why Donald Trump uses this as literally one of the 14 tenets of fascism, identifying enemies and scapegoat as a unifying cause. He knows that people don't know what these things mean. He knows that most people don't know transgender people because they're less than 1% of the population. And he can use that to actually vilify them, create a boogeyman, and say, we all need to be against this. That's fascism.
Well, they're like even other transgenders are actually coming out.
Transgender people, stop saying transgenders.
Okay, transgender people. Like, I know several transgender people that are conservative.
You know, how many transgender people do you know?
6.
You know 6 transgender people.
Correct. One of them is my
what percent of the population is that makes up transgender people?
Correct.
No, what percentage of the U.S. population does transgender people make up?
1%, maybe a little bit less.
Less than 1%. I've said that multiple times. So you're telling me that with less than 1% of the population being transgender people, you personally know 6 of them.
Correct.
How so? How do you know them? Is it like, have you seen them before, or do you actually know them on a personal basis?
Well, one is a personal basis. I've actually had several communications with him. Milo. And then I also have, my ex-wife's, transgender, I guess, sister. So, and then there's several of my friends. There's a couple of friends that I was in the military with. They came out after they retired from the military. That was years ago. And one of my good friends, childhood friends, his cousin is transgender.
Transgender. Okay, so it sounds like you know people that are transgender people. Or
I've been
like, okay,
I've literally been around.
Hold on one second. You named Milo, right? I'm not even going to press you on Milo. You also named your ex-wife's sister. I'm not going to press you on that one. But all the rest of them, a childhood friend, someone that you were in the military with that came out after you guys, or you that came out, you don't come out as transgender. Like if you mean transitioning. My point being, like, is the premise as far as like transgender people, and I'm sorry. Just mathematically speaking, the math says you're full of shit with that statement. Not, trying to, do too much, but that's literally the math.
That's your opinion.
No, literally the math says that you're lying. The math, the actual math says that you're lying. Not me. The actual fucking math says that you're lying.
Whatever you wish to say.
So you're an anomaly.
Well, I guess. So I've lived in California, Arkansas, and currently in North Carolina. So I have family in Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, let's see, Missouri, Louisiana.
I'm not sure what this is about. Let's get back to the point,
military,
because I want to get through this.
Over the
How
world.
is this not identification of enemies and scapegoating as a unifying cause? How is that not that?
So with the transgender people, the areas that I believe Trump is against, that I'm also against, is pretty much.
So if you're saying that there's certain things that you disagree with transgender people, and Donald Trump agree with Donald Trump on those things, is that not Donald Trump rallying you to actually be against transgender people for these reasons?
Well, anybody can be against people like you.
Sure,
you being. I'm guessing
Trump is saying things that you align with, and you are siding with him because of the things that he's saying, and specifically for this group.
No, not because of the things that he's saying. It's just he's saying what I also believe in.
Right. He said the things. You said, I agree with the things, so I'm on his side with the things. Right? Like, we're going to move on to the next one, because I feel like you're kind of being willfully obtuse on this one.
My biggest thing that I have against the transgender people.
I don't want to talk about transgender people. Hold on, Jason. There's no transgender. Are you transgender?
No.
Okay, I'm not a transgender person either. There's no transgender representation on the panel. I absolutely refuse to talk about transgender people when they just want to fucking live. And that was not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is to show how Donald Trump is a fascist, and how one of the things that he's doing is actually demonizing transgender people. So the next thing that we're going to go on to is supremacy of the military. Even when there's widespread domestic problems, the military is given a disproportionate amount of government funding, and the domestic agenda is neglected. Soldiers and military service is glamorized. Donald Trump, this Trump administration, while it's a history of presidencies and administrations funding the government at the highest level, Donald Trump has funded the U.S. government. The last piece of funding bill that they signed gave the military the highest amount of funding ever. And Donald Trump has done multiple things, including create his own kind of militarized style police force with ICE by funding them to the level of the 14th highest amount if you stack them up against other countries and their military budget. Donald Trump has dispatched the National Guard to patrol the streets in DC, and also to go to places like LA, Chicago, all of these different types of places. And he has utilized the military to enact certain acts, such as the controversial drone strikes of the Venezuelan boats. All of these things spell out supremacy of the military.
Okay, so to break down that a little bit, I'll go a little bit backwards.
First and foremost, do you disagree with him? Do you disagree that Donald Trump is not doing these things?
I am not going to disagree that he's doing that, but I'm also going to support what he's doing.
Sure. I'm not saying that you. So just to make sure you understand, we're not
because
sitting here saying, hold on.
I'm ex-military.
Right,
I know
fine.
what
That's
a
fine.
lot of this is going
That's fine. I'm not saying that you and I are debating whether or not these things are just or unjust. The point that I'm trying to make is that Donald Trump is doing these things. So we're going to move on to the next one. And I want you to stop me when there's a thing that you think that Donald Trump is not doing. So let's go on to the next one. The next one is rampant sexism. The government of fascist nations tend to be almost exclusively male dominant. Under fascist regime, traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Opposition to abortion is high, and homophobia and anti-gay legislation and national policies. So Donald Trump's current cabinet is 70% men, right? His entire cabinet, 70% men. And not only that, the overall, hold on a second. Dang it, where did it go? Where'd it go? Dang it. Clicked off the wrong thing. The overall, boom. The overall administration, 70%, I'm sorry, the overall administration, men are highlighted, women are reduced in multiple ways. And then Donald Trump also passed the EO, defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Donald Trump has literally not only packed his administration with men while marginalizing women, but he has also specifically targeted the queer community, and people among him have also tried to target other people within the queer community, including Republicans trying to get Obergefell overturned, to which legalize gay marriage.
Well, it's like part of the previous one and this one right here are like interlinked.
Do you deny that Donald Trump has done any of these things that I just said? The fact that 70% of his cabinet is men, he's passed an executive order specifically targeting the queer community, and other people from the Republican Party that directly fall in line with Donald Trump has tried to pass legislation to overturn gay right marriage.
Well, I don't believe he's doing anything against the LGBTQ.
He passed an EO that is called Defending Women from Gender Ideology, Extremism, and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. He literally signed an executive order saying that we're the gender we are at conception.
What I'm saying, what I'm hearing from that is what it was linked to, which is the sports.
Yeah, I don't care about the actual, linkage, or I don't care about the justification. I'm saying, did he or did he not sign an executive order specifically targeted transgender people? Perfect. So yes, he did that. That's rampant sexism. The next thing
is sexism. It's protecting I guess what people want to call.
No. I'm not saying this is, listen, Jason. I'm not saying that's sexism. I'm saying it's rampant sexism, which is one of the 14 tenets of fascism. The next tenet of fascism is controlled mass media. And the way that control mass media. Sometimes media is directly controlled by the government, but in other cases, media is indirectly controlled by government regulations, or sympathetic media spokesmen and executive censorship, especially wartime, and is very common. You can talk about Donald Trump's constant attack in suits of different legacy media sources like the New York Times. You can talk about him literally kicking the Associated Press out of the White House because they wouldn't call the Gulf of America the Gulf of Mexico. You can talk about Elon Musk purchasing Twitter in order to turn it into a right-wing echo chamber. You can talk about the head of the FCC. I'm spacing on his name right now. The head of the FCC talking about how the FCC would leverage their power to target media companies if Jimmy Kimmel was not taken off of the air. You can talk about Donald Trump and his lawsuit against CBS and Paramount, or you can talk about the fact that the entire press corps, almost the entire press corps, had their badge access removed from the Pentagon, and they've replaced them with loyalists who won't question the information and who have approved to sign off on anything that is put out, whether it's top secret or not. Do you deny, Brendan Carr? Yes. Do you deny that any of those things have happened?
There's a few things of that yes, I know of. There's a few things that I don't, and I need to look up about it. Okay, I don't disagree with like what you're saying. It's not necessarily meaning that there's morally or immoral actions towards it. There's good and bad. So yeah, I'm not denying.
Okay, perfect. So that's control mass media. So let's move on to the next one then. Obsession
not necessarily
with
control, but there's several reasons on why he did it.
Yeah, I'm not looking for the justification.
People can consider it as control, but
I'm not looking for justification. We can talk about the justification, and we can debate actual justification or not. But the point that I'm making is that that's the definition of control mass media. The next thing is obsession with national security. Fear is used as a motivational tool by the government. To over the masses. The obsession with national security goes to multiple things, whether you talk about the drone strike, whether you talk about Donald Trump saying that we have an enemy within and we need to actually take care of them. You can talk about the fact that Donald Trump has weaponized the military and also said that there are terrorists and enemies coming into the country. You can talk about his most recently addition to the asylum pause, because he's saying that we don't need these people coming in from this country. He's literally trying to use a scare tactic to install his overreaching views when it comes to national security. He talks about national security all the time. Do you disagree?
Well, the national security is always really important. Like with me being ex-military, like I completely understand that national security, border security, and several other internal and external security is important.
Sure, but,
so
does Donald Trump hyperfixate on national security? Is it something that he is constantly, persistently, and consistently talking about? And saying that I need to do this because of national security. With that. Yes, I need to address the immigrants because of national security. I need to address these Democrat Congress members because of national security.
I would agree with you on that. Yes, he is doing that.
Perfect. Let me read these off real quick. W's in the chat for Naomi, who sent a $5 donation saying, can you ask him what does refugee mean? I'm sorry, guys. We were way past that one. I lived with a refugee during my teen years, and these Christians are making me question my belief as one. Love you, Santana. I love you more. W's in chat for Gerard for the $5 donation saying, first century Christians is despicable. In the books of Acts and disciplines disciples lived as communist or communal society. Yes, they did. W's in chat for Jocelyn for the $1 donation saying, I'm super behind the stream, but I'm donating for the foil hat fund. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely need that. W's in the chat for Rad, who sent a $5 super chat to say, H-Man also targeted immigrants and LGBTQ at first. They did. W's in the chat for Lethal, who sent a $10 super chat to say, Santana, it's not impossible to know 6 transgender people. I'm a leftist and I'm friends with 2. I've worked with 2 and I know others. I've grown up with them. Depends on your crowd. I agree. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm saying that the people that hold these types of belief and ideology is less likely to engage or know transgender people versus people who are openly embracing and trying to support people within the transgender community. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying mathematically speaking,
I'm 42 years old.
Just talking to the super chat. Just talking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Just mathematically speaking, based off of the numbers and also based off of the way that the people on the right tend to align themselves with their ideology, it's hard to believe for someone who supports, the right. So that's the point that I was making. W's in the chat. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. All the pay links and links are in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. All right. So the next thing after the obsession with national security is obsession with national security. Religion and government intertwine. The government of fascist nations tend to use the most common religion in the nation as a tool to manipulate public opinion. Religious rhetoric and terminology is common for the government leader, even when the major tenet of the religions are diametrically opposed to the government policies or action. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we already talked about how Donald Trump has talked about not being a Christian, even though the Christian base is a large portion of his voter base. But I will talk about Donald Trump signing an executive order that actually created a Christianity team within the government that's specifically supposed to track and target people that they feel are negatively targeting Christians. Donald Trump has literally overstepped the separation of church and state. Do you deny that Donald Trump uses is intertwined in religion and government?
I don't think he's no, I don't believe that he's manipulating or intertwining religious and government.
They literally created a religious portion of the government. He signed an executive order that created a religious division that's supposed to track any type of activity that negatively impacts Christians. Is that not intertwining religion and government?
I can't see that because also at the same time, the Constitution is a separation between, even though it talks about scripture, and some of the Constitution is actually word for word of certain scriptures within the scriptures, Bible. There is a separation between it. Now, the only thing that when I was growing up, they prevented prayers in school. Like,
I'm not talking about when you were growing up. I'm talking about what Donald Trump is doing right now. I don't believe he's doing that. Are you telling me that Donald Trump is keeping religion completely separate from government?
I believe so, yes.
Even though he has created Trump Bibles and he has used Trump Bibles and actually sold those Trump Bibles to different schools for different states. And then also the Republican Party has championed putting the 10 Commandments and hanging them in schools. Are you sure that that's a separation of church and state?
I would still not consider that a melding between the two.
How is the president of the United States?
Well, hold
on. The president of the United States selling Bibles that not only are Bibles, but he put the Constitution in the Bible as well. That's literally church and state in one book. Tell me again how he is keeping it separate if he made a Bible that has the Constitution in the Bible.
I would actually have to look at, like, I've seen the cover and I've seen like people talking about it, but I've not actually seen the book. I'm going to have to look that up or even purchase it myself.
I need you to directly answer this question. If Donald Trump created a Bible that also has the Constitution in the Bible, is that keeping church and state separate?
Because the Constitution is just in the Bible with with scripture.
Is the Constitution currently in your King James version of your Bible?
No.
Is the King James Bible currently connected to your pocket Constitution?
No.
If Donald Trump created one book that puts both of those together, are those two things still separated the way that they're separated now?
Well, because they're put together in one book, it doesn't mean that it's
But are they
signed or, like,
separated if
joined
they're
the
put
country.
together in one book? Yes or no?
If they are, they are. Okay.
So they're not separated if they're in one book, right?
They're not physically separated because they're in one object.
Okay,
but
perfect.
At the same
So
time,
they
they don't have.
So what
they're
is
not
the
considered
law? What is the law of the land? What is the actual the United States? What is the standing law of the land?
The Constitution.
Perfect. In Christianity, where can you find biblical law?
In the Bible.
Okay. So if we have the place that holds biblical law,
Now, the
and if we have the
Constitution
place
also
that
has parts of the Bible in it, like I
if we
stated.
have the place that holds the law of the land, we literally have the guidelines for church and state now literally intertwined, where it has never been done before, and it was done by Donald Trump. Donald Trump is absolutely mixing religion and government intertwined, literally. We're going to move on to the next one.
Well, because it's in the same book, because two people bring two different things together in one book, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is like intertwining the state or the country itself by putting it in the book. Like,
Okay.
should
So
children?
I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna level with you right here, Jason.
The Constitution.
Jason, I'm gonna level with you on something.
The Constitution should be taught in all schools, but it's not being taught.
I don't care about your premise, Jason. W's in the chat for Gerard for the $5 donation, saying this will be my last donation for quite a while due to losing my job last week. Gerard, I'm really sorry to hear that, friend. But thanks for reading off my others. First time I felt important in the last week. You are super important, friend. I promise you are. Keep up the fantastic work. I'll be around supporting, listening, and yelling at the guests they get theology wrong. Gerard, you're always here. You're such an amazing person. You're such an important part of our community. I really hope everything turns around for you really soon. But thank you for being here, and thank you for all your love and support. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Guys, if you look up at the top, you see the word follow. You're not following me. Hit that follow button. Hit the follow button. Hit the follow button. Follow the main account as well, because we're going to be on the main account later. Jason, I'm going to level set with you. It's for me, it's 1:17 p.m. I have a 2 p.m. I have a 2 p.m. Haircut, right? And we have been going through the 14 tenets of fascism, and I would love to get through the rest of the tenets. But one, you actually denying reality is kind of a tough one for me. But two, you wanting to justify the things that are being done, when I keep saying, like, I'm not trying to justify the things. I'm just trying to get agreement that they are happening. So we're kind of at an impasse at this point. We can try to speed run and get through these, because I would love to do so, or we can just call it if you don't want to actually engage with reality.
No, I'm fine with just listening to all of it and everything, and we could and I can then look it up, and then in future chats we can have a discussion.
Let's speed run this. Corporate power is protected. And the next tenet is corporate power protected. The industrial and business. This word. Autocracy. Holy smokes! Autocracy of a fascist regime often are ones who put the government leaders into power, creating a mutual benefit business of / government relationship of power and the elite. Donald Trump, and you can talk about his inauguration, where 7 of the 10 richest men on earth attended his actual inauguration. You can talk about the fact that Donald Trump, when getting into office, he brought in 18 billionaires into his administration, who all totaled a net worth of $340 billion. And that's not even including the richest man on earth being a part of Doge and backing his administration. And then you can also talk about him signing the One Big Beautiful Bill, which was the largest transfer of wealth in United States history that overwhelmingly benefited the ultra wealthy with multiple tax cuts. That's the corporate power is protected. The next one is labor power suppressed because the organization of power of labor is the only real threat of fascist regime. Labor unions are eliminated entirely or severely suppressed. You can talk about Donald Trump being a union buster, and specifically him and Elon Musk being on a Twitter live space and advocating and laughing about being union busters. He did that. There's a whole video. You can listen to it. He did it. The next thing is disdain for the intellectual and disdain for intellectuals and the arts. Fashion nations tend to promote and tolerate open hostility towards higher education and academia. It's not uncommon for professors and other academics to be censored or even arrested. Free expression of the arts is openly attacked, and the government often refuses to fund the arts. You can talk about Donald Trump openly saying that he doesn't believe in climate change and saying that the scientists don't know and the country's going to start cooling. They just don't know that. You can talk about his battles back and forth with Harvard. You can talk about his actual appointment of RFK Jr., who has flaunted in the face of medical experts. And you can even talk about his attack on Dr. Fauci. And you can talk about the takeover of the Kennedy Center. All of these things directly speak to the disdain of intellectuals and the art. Next thing is obsession with crime and punishment. Under fascist regime, the police are given almost limitless powers to enforce the law. The people are often willing to overlook police abuse and even forego civil liberties in the name of patriotism. There's often a national police force with virtually unlimited power in fascist regime. ICE. I'm just going to say ICE. They literally ICE. They gave ICE. They keep saying ICE has federal protection and like they can do whatever they want. And then also Donald Trump passed a restoring the unalivement penalty and protecting public safety, where he is actively in the pursuit of restoring the unalivement penalty. So that's obsession with crime and punishment. The next one is rampant cronyism and corruption. Fascist regime almost always are governed by groups of friends and associates who appoint each other into government positions and use governmental power and authority to protect their friends from accountability. It's not uncommon for fascist regimes to use natural resources or even treasures to be appropriated or even outright stolen by government officials. You can talk about Donald Trump appointment of his family, whether it's his kids in governmental positions. You can talk about their spouses, Jared Kushner, Laura Trump. You can talk about his appointment of Elon Musk, who directly helped him win the election. You can talk about Steve Bannon, who said that Donald Trump is going to be running for 2028. Or you can talk about Laura Loomer, who's just a batshit crazy person that gets unprecedented access to the president of the United States and has power and control. All of these things speak to rampant cronyism and corruption. And the last thing is fraudulent elections. I'm not going to read all this, and only thing I'm going to say is January 6th. Donald Trump tried to overthrow the United States government, and to this day has continued to call that election a fraudulent election and said that he won. All of those things are the reason why Donald Trump is a fascist. He meets all 14 tenets of fascism. He exemplifies each and every tenet. All right, Jason, would you like to say anything about that?
Well, before I go, because my daughter just walked in, I got to go pretty soon. But before I go, like you said, you're not necessarily talking about the morality or the good or bad necessarily of it. You're just talking about the talking points that match up with fascism, which I'm not going to deny anything that you're really saying, because all of that, what you're claiming, matches up with the 14 points of fascism. It seems like it's spot on. But then when you get down into the points, the reasons, the causes, the actions and reactions,
you're referring to you justifying the things that he's doing, even though he's doing them.
Correct.
So
it doesn't necessarily matter. It matters on the reasons.
People
why he's doing
who
it.
Supported Hitler thought that he was justified in unaliving Jewish people. Do you think that was okay?
No. But is Trump unaliving people like Hitler?
No, I'm literally talking about people thinking that it was justified. People think that the genocide that's occurring in Gaza is justified because of the actions of Hamas. Do you think the G-side that's occurring with the Palestinian people is justified?
Well, because I was over there, I don't see anything G-side about it. Like
You don't see the killing of innocent Palestinian people by the Israeli government as a G-side.
That's the problem about innocence. When innocence is around evil.
Fuck out of here. W's in the chat for Brian. Brian sent a $10 donation saying, great job with Jason. He's in a deep cult. He is. He's absolutely in a deep cult and like calling yourself a Christian while sitting here saying that there's no such thing as innocent people when literally these people, the Palestinians are going through a G-side. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Ain't no fucking way. Guys, I have a haircut appointment. I have an appointment in 34 minutes. I got to get dressed and then I got to get there. It's going to take a while, so I got to get out of here. I would love to stay longer, but I got to go. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you like the stream before you take off. I would really appreciate that. It'll help boost the stream and it will help draw attention to the channel. And make sure you hit that follow button. A lot of people over on the YouTube watch but don't follow. Make sure you hit that follow button. Guys, I'll be back later. We're going to get back into our debates later, but tonight will be a continuation of the debates where we're looking to only debate non-white men that support Trump. So make sure you follow the main account because that's where we're going to be. We're going to be on the main account later. No, I'm about to go get it now. I'm about to go get my haircut now. Last call for alcohol, guys. Look up at the top. You see the word follow. You're not following me. Hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. Please hit the follow button up there and then follow the main account as well. Follow both. Please follow both. We're going to get out of here.
You stepped in the box. Now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here. You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts like lies, get left in shame. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats and get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit.
Hey, guys, thank you all for hanging out today. It was a lot of fun. I ended up staying a little bit longer than I expected, but it was good. Except the last guy, he sucked. But whatever. Guys, thank you for all hanging out. I'll see you all later. We will be back. I love you all so much. Thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being here. We are all fucking locked in because we're besties. I'm going to go get a fresh cut, get all this cleaned up. When you guys see me later, I'm going to be pretty. I'm going to be so pretty. Anyway, I love you all. And as always,